Okay, welcome to the February 2022 CB3 SLA meeting. I am the chair, Michelle Cooper-Smith. I'm just going to read through a few guidelines before we get started. This meeting is being recorded, as I already said. If you have not already, please sign into the chat with your name and affiliation. And if you're a member of the public, if there's a certain item that you'd like to speak on, the chat will only be used to sign up to speak, or to ask about technical issues. The chat will only go to myself and Susan. I will announce when each agenda item is up for comment from the public. Once that happens, I will ask you to raise your Zoom hand, just so that we know who is here to speak at that moment on the item. And I will reserve the right to give you up to 2 minutes to speak on each item. If you're a member of a community group, we ask that you select no more than 2 folks to speak on any one item, unless there's something unique that you can provide. We will count how many people are here that share your position. Please keep yourself muted unless I recognize you to speak to avoid background noise. We will mute you if you are speaking out of turn. I had the agenda shared just a moment ago, but just for members of the public, there are several things that dropped off. So just make sure that you're not here for any of those. I'll put all the applications here in the chat. Okay, the first item on our agenda is the committee approval of last month's minutes. Are there any objections to the minutes from January 2022 from any members of the committee? Okay, hearing none, I'm going to go into a roll call vote. Michelle Cooper-Smith, present. Jeanette is not here tonight. Jesse Beck?
Yes.
David Crane?
Here.
Jamie Felber? Herman Hewitt? Ellen Liu, Paul Ciros.
Here.
Okay, thanks everyone. So I'm going to probably go a little bit out of order tonight, but so just bear with me. But are the applicants for number 2 Noree Thai Bazaar present?
Hi, yes, I'm the attorney representing Noree.
Hi, is the applicant present?
I think he said he was trying to log on. I'm just going to text him if you don't mind.
Okay. In the meantime, I will drop the questionnaire into the chat. What's the name that, can I search it in the?
Who, my
client, yeah, to see if he's
Andy?
on. Okay, I don't see him.
I just texted him. I apologize. I think he was having a little trouble with the Zoom right now.
Okay. I'll give him like another minute just because we have a lot to get through tonight, but hopefully this one won't be too bad. So I want to get you guys off the docket.
I know. I really, truly appreciate that. He's asking what his participating ID is.
There isn't one.
Have a link. Honestly, I apologize. I think you're probably better off going to the next one because I don't want to hold up the committee. And I think.
Okay, so we'll come back to you next.
Yes, I appreciate that. Sorry for that.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, are the applicants for number 8 Civic Labs present?
Yes, we are.
Hello, and your clients here as well, Max?
Yes.
Okay, great. Great, okay. So I'm just going to read through some of the highlights of this application. I dropped the full application into the chat if you'd like to follow along. So this is a request for a full on-premises liquor license for the catering operations that would be located at the new tech hub on 14th Street between 3rd and 4th Avenue. This is, as I said, for the events catering. It's not a permanent restaurant or anything like that. It's a 22 commercial building with a pending certificate of occupancy. There are 9 full on-premises licenses within 500 feet per the lat map. This location has never been licensed, although we did approve an OP for the food hall a month or 2 ago. The applicants, I believe, are the developers. Is that accurate, Max?
The applicant is, for this application is the not-for-profit entity, Civic Hall Labs.
Okay.
It's a separate entity.
Okay, thanks for clarifying. We received a letter from the executive director of the Union Square Partnership in support of this, because this entity they've been working together to get through the ULURP, et cetera, for the tech hub. 34 residents who live within 2 blocks signed a petition in favor of the application. We're gonna have to do the hours like a little bit differently than we typically do, because it's not going to be they must open by a certain amount of time, or by a certain time. I think we'll say something like they are allowed to be open between the hour, or allowed to serve between the hours of 8 a.m. and 11 p.m. Is that right, Max?
That's correct.
Okay. Great. And do you know which floors, just sorry, before I go to the committee, because I had some clarifying questions. Do you know which floors this will be for?
Andrew, 2 and 3, right?
Yes.
That is correct. Yes.
Okay. All right. So down to locate within the on the 2nd and 3rd floor. And committee, I'm just putting this into the resolution that I shared with you earlier. And do you know what do you have any sense? I mean, I know you have a pending certificate of occupancy. Do you have any sense of like what the number of folks that will be on those floors during events will be? Because typically we would try and get a sense of that.
Yeah, Andrew and Jay, they're trying to get a sense of, I know our CFO is pending, but we give them some sort of estimate of.
It's approximately 200. It's about 200 to 250.
Okay. Maybe 200 to 250. Okay, thank you. For the 2nd and 3rd floor.
Correct.
That's right.
Okay, great. Okay, committee, do you have any questions about this application? Nothing? Okay. Is there anyone here from the public that wants to comment on this item? This is number 8, Civic Hall Labs catering operation. Okay.
There's one hand up.
Okay, great.
John Center.
Okay, John, go ahead.
I oppose these applicants' requests for a full OP liquor license. I respectfully ask them to withdraw this application, apply for a beer, wine only license, and operate under that for 1 year before determining whether or not to reapply for a full OP license. The principal applicants and this corporation have never been previously licensed to sell alcohol, nor do they have work experience similar to this proposed business. They're asking to be allowed to serve liquor beginning at 8 a.m. 7 days a week. As construction gets closer to completion, it's been easier for me to find information about Civic Hall Labs liquor license requests rather than specifics about their upcoming tech training programs. That concerns me. Civic Hall does some fine work. Their 2019 revenue was about $7 million. Civic Hall noted they'd be building quote partnerships with various groups. In fact, FedCap Group has reported, quote, the acquisition of Civic Hall, and quote, FedCap Group executives are named among the principals on this license questionnaire application. While FedCap Group also is responsible for important work, they're a huge multinational operation spanning 22 states, Canada, Ireland, Scotland, and England. Their 2019 total revenues were reported as more than $186 million. Yes, good works are being done, and several executives are very well compensated to make those good works happen. In 2019, Civic Hall reported 3 staff members with compensation packages worth approximately $200,000 each. Another 4 got from $120,000 to $137,000. One FedCap Group exec listed as a principal in this application received a $457,000 compensation package. Zero Irving is marketing itself as, quote, more than a trophy class office building, end quote. A full OP liquor license seems more like a trophy in Zero Irving's building rather than a necessity for Civic Hall's tech training. Please deny this application. And Madam Chair, I respectfully ask that you listen to one more sentence because it's a
Go ahead.
compliment. Okay. I'd just like to thank CV3 and compliment it on the format of its liquor license application questionnaire. This is the first time that I recall using this format. And to me, as a member of the public, it seemed user-friendly. So thank you for that. Appreciate
Thank you
that.
so much. The next hand I see is Mary Fran. Mary, go ahead.
I think there's some missing information on this application.
Okay. What's missing, Susan?
So let me ask Max, isn't this one that we have stipulations on with the community board, basically, and that is this the one that's going to be involved in community use?
Yeah, so this one, as part of the 2018 ULURP process for the building, it was clear from the beginning that Civic Hall was going to be involved. It was clear from the beginning that there would be an event space, and this is the event space. And part of that ULURP process was a commitment that the event space, which is this application, would be made available to not-for-profits and other community-based organizations 52 times a year. So that's already an element of this project and can also be incorporated into the liquor license stipulations just as belt and suspenders, but nothing about this application is unexpected or new. This is all goes back to 2018 when the community board, borough president, and city council all unanimously approved the ULURP.
And this closes by 11, right?
11 o'clock, and Michelle, is right. What we typically do with a catering license, since a catering liquor license is not open to the, on a regular basis. You can't just walk in for lunch. It's only for events. Those hours that we give, which is the 8 to 11, are the hours, the range within events could be held. So no events could be held beyond that.
So I think, it's important for everybody that wasn't involved in voting on this a couple of years ago, understand that the community board put this space into the ULURP and stipulated that this would be a much needed community space for nonprofits and community board to use. So this is something that we actually kind of planned for.
Okay, Susan, so you think we should just do a whereas clause community board 3 supported the establishment of this event space?
Well, I think we should say that this space was part of the ULURP process for this site. And specifically, this space is stipulated and agreed as part of the ULURP to have, Max, you can correct me, is it community nonprofit use 52 times per year?
52 times a year, space made available to local nonprofits and community groups.
So it's community groups too. It doesn't have to be like a 501c3 organization.
Yeah.
And there was a
No,
lot.
we're not going to check. They're not going to check people's tax status.
Well, and this was because of complaints from the public that there is not space for them to meet. And they can hold events there. They can hold galas there, that kind of thing. Fundraising galas.
Thank you for that context, both of you.
Sorry, I'm sorry I didn't do all that in advance.
That's okay. Hopefully that was helpful, committee, for those of us who are not here at that time. But yeah, the Tech Hub was a big part of, Community Board 3 was a big part of that process. Sorry, Mayor Fran, go ahead.
My name is Mary Fran Loftus, and I've lived in CB3 for 40 years. I am opposed to a full liquor license for Civic Hall Labs for the following reasons. When this building was in ULURP review, we were told that Civic Hall was to be a technology training center geared to underprivileged students. According to this application, it is now a catering facility with a full food menu and a conference center. In their questionnaire, will any other business besides food or alcohol be conducted at the premise? The answer listed is no. What happened to the tech training? The methods of operation sound more like a party club than an educational facility. If indeed the conference center is tech training, I see no reason for it to need a full liquor license. There is already a pending OP license for this address with 8 more within 500 feet. More importantly, this location is situated between 2 NYU dorms. Within a 2-block radius, there are 5 dorms housing approximately 3,000 students. According to the website for these dorms, school facilities are included in them. NYU's Palladium Hall contains an athletic facility, music practice rooms, and a center for career development. University Hall houses a branch of the University Learning Center for peer tutoring and music practice rooms. Likewise, the new school's Loeb Hall has an art studio and music practice room. Finally, 21 of the addresses listed in support of this application are not from adjacent residents, but well beyond 2 blocks of this location, such as Waterside Plaza, 643 East 13th Street, and Avenue B, and should be excluded. For the above reasons, I ask that the committee deny a full liquor license to this applicant. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else here to speak on this item number 8? Okay. Committee, do you have any other questions after hearing from Susan, et cetera?
If I could just mention again,
Sure.
it sounds to me like people really are not understanding this. The public is not walking into these places. This is an event, like a fundraising event or a graduation event of limited people, or a community like Community Board 3 might have an event there. It's not going to be open to the public.
That was my comment, Susan, is that this is, to reiterate, since this is a catering license, this is not any day of the week or any night someone could walk in and have a meal. It's for private events only, for this not-for-profit that is doing admittedly good work that the community board unanimously supported in 2018 with the ULURP, when this was a core element of the project. The only other comment I would add from the comments we've heard so far is that the application is not incorrect. The question about other business has to be consistent with a question on the SLA application, which asks the same question. And what that goes to is beyond our business of being a not-for-profit, holding tech seminars, doing training, holding events that may require a liquor license. Is there anything that's not Civic Hall that's happening in this space? The answer to that is clearly no. All of this is part of our mission, and the catering license is something that no one should be surprised about, since it's been supported by the community board for years.
I could just mention, I'm not sure everybody understands what a catering license is, and that this is not going to be operating every day. And I still want to reiterate, this whole tech hub came about from the community board district needs statement. This is something we asked for and the city gave us, and the event space and the ability for the community to use it 50 times a year, which is once a week, is something that came from our community. It was a request from our community.
Okay, thanks. Committee, any questions? Herman, go ahead. Herman, if you're talking, you're muted.
The tech hub specifically wasn't one of my favorite things that I probably didn't vote on. However, there is a long-term situation in the Lower East Side that we never had a proper catering hall or a banquet hall, as they call it. At one time, there was supposed to be one on we're a senior citizen houses on Essex Street. Well, that's now a senior citizen home, but The problem with a lot of us housing organization or non-for-profit organization had no place in the neighborhood. And usually we had to go to Brooklyn to have a banquet hall. And those banquet halls are not everyday situation where people just walk in and sit at a bar or something. It's specifically for people who book to have weddings, fundraisers. That's why I would support this, because most of the hotels that we have in the neighborhood doesn't even have a proper catering or banquet situation that even somebody could have a small wedding or something like that. So I know I voted on the ULURP for this to be included, so I don't have anything to say about it. I just think it's a necessary thing that we need in this community.
Okay, great. I'm gonna share the stipulations then. Doesn't seem like there's any other questions from the committee members. Okay, so this is for committee and applicant, make sure everything's correct. Qualified representatives, Civic Hall Labs, catering operation, hours of operation, as I said, 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. That's when they're allowed, but not required to be open. No outdoor space. You'll employ a doorman, security personnel, 1 per floor, you said, during events. Already installed soundproofing. Of course, it's a closed fixed facade because it's on the 2nd and 3rd floor. No promoted events and no scheduled performances. You will not apply for an alteration without coming back. No pub crawls, party buses, boozy brunches, no happy hours, no wait lines, and you may play entertainment level music during events only, consisted of recorded music, live music, and music curated by DJs, but as I said, no promoted events or scheduled performances. Does that sound right, Max?
Andrew, everything that I see here is consistent with what we put in our packet. I'm not seeing anything inconsistent.
Okay, great. Anything else from the committee before we move this to a vote? Okay. Hearing nothing, stop sharing. Paul seems to be having trouble with his internet. Michelle, yes. Jesse?
Yes.
Herman?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Jamie?
Yes.
Paul, can you hear us? I see you're connecting to audio. I guess the motion passes. Paul, we're voting yes or no? Paul, you're on mute. Can you hear us?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Thanks, guys. You know the drill. We'll send you the steps. Please send them back as soon as possible.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Okay, going back to number 2, Noree, Jasleen, is your client here now?
Yes, my client's here.
Awesome. Okay.
Andy, can you unmute? He's just trying to unmute right now.
Okay.
I can start my summation. If that's what
I'll go into it first and then I'll ask you if you have anything to clarify. Okay, so this is an application for an upgrade and alteration to the existing liquor license at 274 Grand Street, Noree Thai Bazaar. What am I saying? Okay, so as I said, upgrade to full on premises, and then the alteration is to turn the 2nd floor into from a storage space to a place for service. There'll be 3 booths with 32 seats, 9 tables with, Jasleen, how many seats? If you know.
On the downstairs or upstairs?
Upstairs.
The first floor will be 12 tables, 48 seats, and 6 seats at the counter. 10 seats for customer bar. And then the second floor will be 9 tables, 34 seats at tables, 8 number of seats at customer bar.
Okay. Okay. Got it. And then on the first floor, you're gonna add a counter table with 6 seats and you're gonna remove 11 tables and add 3 booths, right?
Yes.
Okay, great. This was approved in May 2018, a Thai restaurant with Stipulations Thai restaurant. And then the hours were extended in March 2020 to 2 a.m. all nights. Is that what you're operating under now? I know things got a little screwy around then.
Yeah, but that was handled by another attorney. Andy, could you comment on that? I think he's having malfunctions. Yeah, he was handling that with another attorney and he was it was under a different application for 2 a.m. Timing.
Okay, but the important thing is that that's what we approved.
Yeah,
We approved
we're
this
here
plan,
today
like-
for the alteration class change and the additional bar.
Yeah, so I just want to make sure everyone knows that they've already been operating with these hours. And will we be serving food during all hours of operation?
Yes,
Okay, great. And do you plan to have a happy hour?
I think he does plan to have a happy hour.
Okay, if we could figure out what time that is, that would be great. I don't think we can hear him still.
Okay.
Okay. I don't have any questions about this. I've never actually been there, but I've ordered food from there. There are only 4 other full on premises within 500 feet. Does anyone from the committee have any questions about this?
Just to confirm, this is just to create more seating space?
Yeah, they're at, well, no, it's an upgrade, right? To full on premises.
I just spoke to my client. He's going to dial in, but he said happy hour was from 4 to 7.
Okay. This is an upgrade and an alteration.
Yeah, sorry. The point behind the expansion being more seating.
Right, more seating. And it's also a request for it to be a class change. So more from a restaurant, it's going to be a tavern license.
Okay.
Because the seating is more of like a lower seating. So it's not necessarily where it's a restaurant seating where there's higher seats, higher tables. So that's why they're requesting the tavern.
So it's a semi-bar.
Ultimately.
It's not a restaurant. It's
But you're gonna be serving food during all hours, right?
All hours, yeah.
Okay.
It's just the way the seating is done, the way the benches are. So we just wanted to make sure that there was no misrepresentation and we represented the way the tables were set up or the seating was, that later no one would say that, oh, it's a restaurant or it's not. So we were just trying to be correct and, you know, get the board's approval.
Okay.
Hello. Hi, can you hear me?
Yes,
Hello.
we can hear you.
Hi, this is
Andy?
Andy. Can you hear me?
Okay, that's my client.
Oh, so sorry about that. Yeah, sorry about
Worries.
that. For some reason, the audio wasn't working properly before.
No worries. Okay, anyone else from the committee have any questions about this application?
Can I just add something?
Sure.
Yeah, so the only reason why I want to change to a bar and lounge is because of the current economic conditions. With meat prices going up double, literally, and stuff from Thailand is 200 to 300%. So it's nearly impossible for me to operate a Thai restaurant currently. I don't want to charge $20 for pad Thai, and neither do customers. So I have to figure a way to just to change and adapt to the current economic conditions. And I feel like the only way to survive is to change. And yeah, here we are now.
Okay, thanks. All right, anyone else on the committee have any other comments, concerns, questions about this? It's on Grand Street and like Eldridge, right? It's a pretty busy area.
It's closer to Forsyth.
Forsyth, yeah, okay. Okay, I personally don't have any problems with this. I don't know if anyone else has anything they want to say before we move to stipulations.
No.
Okay. All right, let me share the stipulations quickly then. Okay, so Andy Lau, Noree Thai Bazaar. You're gonna serve food during all hours of operation. Opening no later than 3 p.m. and closing by 2 a.m. all days. No commercial outdoor space. What's the security guard for?
He's gonna have one. He just hasn't hired one right now.
What's the function of the security guard?
Andy, if you want to elaborate.
Just to be by the door, just to make sure nothing rowdy happens outside, and for security reasons, but mainly for the crowd or any potential noise outside. So
Okay, because we don't want there to be people having like their IDs checked in a line on the street. That's why we're gonna have no lines.
Yes, that's correct. We can check it inside if need be, but mainly it's to avoid any problems that can arise later on.
Okay. Close any front or rear facade doors by 10. No DJs, no live music, no promoted events, no event with a cover fee, no scheduled performances, ambient music, record background music only. No pub crawls, no drink specials, happy hour ending by 7 p.m. No wait lines, staff person ensuring no loitering. And this is the correct contact info, right?
Yes.
Okay. Anything committee? No. Okay, hearing no objections, I'm going to move this to a vote. Again, this is number 2, Noree Thai Bazaar. Oh my gosh, my Word doc keeps disappearing. Okay, Michelle, yes. Herman. I caught you off guard. I'm going out of alphabetical order. I'll come back to you, Herman. David.
Yes.
Jamie.
Yes.
Paul.
Yes.
Jesse, you disappeared. Jesse.
Yes. I'm here.
Herman.
I'm here.
Yes.
Okay, thanks. That's 6. Yes, so the motion carries. We'll send you the stipulation sheet. Please sign and return them expediently.
Thank you so much.
Yep, appreciate your time.
No problem. Have a great night.
Okay, good night.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay. Are the applicants for number 14 here, Tony's Famous Pizza?
Why'd they skip us?
Hello?
Hi, you're here for number 14?
Yes, Tony's Famous Pizza. My name is Neil Visaki. I'm the attorney for the applicant. And my client should be on here as well.
Yes, I'm Sal Casaccio. For some reason, when I'm speaking, I lose the picture, but I'm here.
You're good. You're good. Okay, let me just drop the application here. Just a reminder, committee, this is the pizza restaurant. They were here last month. They did not have a petition, but they have submitted a petition this month. I just dropped the questionnaire in the chat. This was a long-standing pizzeria that I believe changed ownership. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. So, all right, so I'll just go through this quickly. All right, so this is an application for a beer wine license at 231 First Avenue between East 13th and East 14th for Tony's Famous Pizza. LNO of 74 people. This was previously Vinnie Vincen's Pizzeria. They opened in 2003. It didn't any real stipulations beyond serving food within 1 hour of closing and not using the backyard area. And you do not intend to use the backyard, right?
He does not.
There is no backyard area.
Okay. I don't know why that was one of the stipulations, but maybe at one point there was a backyard. There have been no issues with this location, no 301 complaints. They sent in a petition with 11 residential signatures. Closing hours, 4 a.m., right? 11 a.m. to 4 a.m.
Yes, that's what my client would like.
Okay, beer wine. Anything else I missed? Anything I missed there? Need to correct? Okay,
No, everything's fine.
cool. Committee, do you have any questions for them?
No.
This is the exact same application as last month, just with signatures.
Correct, yep.
Totally
Yes.
fine.
Okay. Cool. Just give me one moment. I'll share the steps. Okay. 231 First Avenue, wine, beer, cider. It's a pizza and Italian restaurant, kitchen open and serving food during all hours of operation. Opening no later than 11 a.m. and closing by 4 a.m. No outdoor space. You'll close any front or rear facade doors by 10. No DJs, no live music, no promoted events, no event with a cover fee, no scheduled performances. You'll play ambient recorded background music only. You will not seek a change in class or an alteration without coming back here. CB3, no pub crawls, no party buses, no boozy brunches or other drink specials with food, no happy hour, no wait lines. If you must have a staff person responsible for ensuring no loitering out front, and you'll post the stipulations at your business. Does that all sound right?
Perfect.
Yes.
Okay, great. Committee, any concerns, questions before we go to a vote? Okay. Okay. Michelle, yes. Herman,
Yes.
Jesse,
Yes.
Jamie,
Yes.
Paul, Paul's busy. David,
Yes.
you've moved on to healthier snacks, I see. Paul,
Yes.
okay, great, thanks. So this motion carries. We'll send you the stipulations tomorrow. Please sign and return expediently. Thanks for your time.
Thank you. Have a great night.
Thanks, good night.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
My headphones, one moment. Okay. All right. All right. Let's go to. Sorry, I told you guys I was going to skip around a little bit tonight, just so we can get some of the easier ones out ahead of some of the more difficult ones. Are the applicants for number 12 Beloved Cafe here?
Hi. Can you
Hi.
hear me? Hi,
Yes.
how are you? My name is Jenny Hong. I'm here on behalf of Beloved Cafe LLC. And
Okay.
yes.
Is the client here, or is the?
No, unfortunately, we got the last minute call from the applicant that he won't be able to make it. He's still in Iran, actually. So he was
Okay,
trying
so-
to take a flight, but yeah.
So we can't hear the application then, because it's required that the applicant, the person who will be the license holder, is here. So we'll have to have you withdraw for this month and come back next month.
Oh, so that's mandatory for applicant to appear?
Yes, it's in the questionnaire, yeah.
Okay.
So you're gonna, if you will send in,
Mhm.
resend your 30-day notice right away to the office, so we'll put you on for next month.
Oh, so you want us to send the committee board notice again?
You don't have to, just email it. You don't have to send it certified mail or anything. Just
Okay.
email it for bookkeeping, but do it tomorrow, so we'll get you on for March.
Okay, okay, I'll do that right away. Okay,
Thank you.
thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay. Is the applicant from Milk Burger here, number 16?
Yes, this is.
Hi, Eric.
Hello.
Okay, one moment. Let me just drop the application in the chat. Okay, so this is number 16, 321 East Houston Street. I'll hit the high points. Okay, so this is an application for Gumbert Inc. doing business as Milk Burger for a full on-premises license, and the premises located at 321 East Houston between Attorney and Ridge. Certificate of occupancy of 74 people, 9 tables with 36 seats, and 1 bar with 10 seats, serving burgers, salads, and milkshakes. There are 6 full on-premises licenses within 500 feet. This is a never previously been licensed space. The applicant has been a current full on-premises license holder at Milk Burger in the Bronx since April 2011. We didn't receive any letters to the committee in the weeks leading up to us about this application. 5 folks from within 2 blocks signed a petition in favor of the application. And the hours are closing 11 p.m. Tuesday to Thursday, 12 a.m. to Friday to Saturday, and 10 p.m. Sunday. No outdoor space requested. Does that all sound right, Eric?
If I may add, I believe you said there's a bar and seating for 10. We don't have a bar, and there won't be seating for 10. Yeah.
Okay, so just 9 tables with 36 seats?
Yes.
Okay.
I also want to make another correction on the application, if I may. On number 8, where it says I will not have DJs, I see that the box is not checked off. We will never have DJs.
Okay.
Live music,
Okay.
third party, or any of that. I apologize.
Okay, great.
That
No worries.
toggle didn't work.
Got it. Okay. I don't have any questions. Anyone from the committee have any questions for the applicant? Okay. Is there anyone here from the public to speak on this item, number 16, 321 East Houston, Milk Burger?
I'm sorry, if I may add one more thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
The premises has also had a previous liquor license. I can give you the company name.
Yeah.
Yes, it was licensed before. It's you ready? It's EL space Manguey, MAGUEY La Tuna Ltd. They were the prior restaurant that
was, and it had a license.
Yes.
Yes, I know that. I went there many times.
Okay.
I
don't know why this didn't come up in my searches. Okay. So Susan, I'll just say that it had a full on premises liquor license, fully licensed with a full on premises. This space was previously licensed as. Thank you for clarifying. That does make a difference to us.
It's been closed for a while. They lost, or they couldn't renew their lease. So it wasn't, immediately licensed, but it's been licensed in the recent past.
Yeah, it had been licensed. Okay. Thank you for clarifying. That is helpful. Okay. Anyone else from the committee have any questions after that change? No. Anyone from the community here to speak on this? Can you please raise your hand, your Zoom hand? Okay, Pam, go ahead.
Hi there. I just had a quick question. I was wondering if Eric could tell the committee or if you could find out what the establishment was like in the Bronx and if there was any complaints or anything from that ownership there.
I can tell you, I mean, I searched the SLA website. There's nothing from him. Eric, have you ever had any issues that you would like to tell us about?
Yeah, absolutely. Hello, board members and and public members that are attending this meeting. Yeah, we've been in business for approximately over a decade. We opened up in 2011. We've never had any instance. We're really a sit-down restaurant. You eat and people just go. It's a fast casual concept. We don't have any televisions purposely because I hate to say this, we don't want people to stay there too long. It's sort of like a quick service in and out. We don't cater to any parties, any events of that nature. It's low music. It's actually a small Bluetooth speaker that we use in the Bronx. Yeah, I've never had a single incident. We're close. I guess, yeah, even the community board has never had an incident either. I don't know if you want anything more specific, then I apologize, but no, it's a small family business and we just run it that way. We've been around for, we actually started in Spanish Harlem and then we expanded into the South Bronx. And then our lease was Spanish Harlem gentrified. Sorry, I hate to use that word, but it's the truth. The rent was almost tripled on us, and we had to close the first location. And that was our reason for moving to the Bronx. The reason why we're coming to the Lower East Side is honestly, my mother grew up here. It resembles the neighborhoods that I just had the business in, which is Spanish Harlem and the South Bronx, and now the Lower East Side. I'm sorry, I'm long-winded. I hope I answered that.
You're good. Thank you.
Sorry about that.
Okay, thanks. Pam, you're good? Okay, great. Okay, anyone from the committee have any questions? Okay, I'm gonna share the stipulations form then. Okay. So it's an American burger restaurant at 321 East Houston. It's a full on premises. You'll be opening no later than 12 p.m. Tuesday to Sunday and closing by 11 p.m. Tuesday to Thursday, 12 a.m. Friday to Saturday, and 10 p.m. Sunday. That's all correct, Eric?
Yes.
Okay, great. Soundproofing is already installed. No outdoor space. You have a closed fixed facade. No DJs, no live music, no promoted events, no event at which a cover fee is charged, no scheduled events, ambient recorded background music only. You will not seek any alterations without coming back here. No pub crawls or party buses, no unlimited drink specials, including boozy brunches, no happy hour, no wait lines, staff person responsible for ensuring there's no loitering out front. That all sound right?
Yes, correct.
Great. Okay. Any further questions, comments before we move to a vote committee? David, go ahead.
I just want to make sure, could you explain to him the stip about?
Yeah, so
Maybe the
Eric, one of the stipulations, I mean, I know you're a license holder, I don't know if they do the same thing in the community board where you had been, where you've been previously, but when we say opening no later than 12 p.m., that means that you have to open by 12 p.m. every day. Is that okay?
You mean I have no later than 12 p.m.? You can't open earlier.
Oh, sorry.
I'm a little
You
confused.
can open earlier. You just must be open by 12 p.m. The idea is that we want to encourage foot traffic on the street. Okay.
Oh, understood. Yeah. So my
So yeah,
employees get in at 11.
you can open earlier, but you must be open by 12 p.m.
Understood. Well, we are
Okay,
closed
great.
Mondays.
Yeah. So I did not put Monday in there. Thank you, David. David's favorite note, which has been helpful. Okay. All right, committee, moving this to a vote. Hearing no further questions, comments, or concerns. Michelle, yes. David. Jesse.
Yes.
Jamie.
Yes.
Paul.
Yes.
Did I lose? Herman dropped off my
Yes.
screen. Herman, yes. Okay. Okay. Passes. The motion carries. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, board members. I hope to.
We'll
meet
send you
all
the
in future.
stipulations shortly.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great
Thank
night.
you. Okay, we're moving so quickly. I'm going to try and get the easy ones out first, just because it's not even 7:30 yet. Is number 13 Salang Group here?
Yes,
Number
Martin
13?
Miller I'm the attorney for Salang,
Hi.
and the licensee is on too.
I see him, yeah.
Boy, take your Unmute yourself.
I shouldn't say the easier ones. I'm going to say the more straightforward ones. I don't want to imply anything.
Okay.
All right.
Hi, everyone. Okay. All right. So number 13. Hold on a second. I have something misnumbered. 225.
This is 225.
Salang Hospital.
Yeah, sorry. No, this is just I misnumbered something in my stuff. Hold on. Obviously a words person, not a number person. Okay. Okay, number 13, 225 Avenue B. I put the application in the chat. Okay, so this is an application for a full on-premises liquor license at 225 Avenue B on the second floor. That's between 13th and 14th Street. It was previously Pouring Ribbons. Certificate of occupancy of 99 people, 4 tables with 8 seats and 1 stand-up bar with 8 seats and 1 sushi bar with 12 seats. It's a omakase style food service. Food during all hours of operation. There are 6 full on premises within 500 feet. It is asking for the same hours as Pouring Ribbons had, open until 2 a.m. all nights. Background music only, no DJs or any of that sort of, or sorry, no DJs, but you'll have live music, incidental acoustic jazz on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday nights. No more than 2 private parties a month. No 301 complaints at this location. Does that all sound right?
Yes, that's it in a nutshell. The Pouring Ribbons has been there since 2012.
Okay, yeah, and so just the incidental acoustic music, right?
Correct.
Okay. So I just have one question, which is that on your application, you said that you had not had any SLA violations, but I just wanted to make sure that the one that I found was for you. This applicant is licensed at Crystal Thai at 293 Flatbush Avenue. You received a $1,500 civil penalty for COVID-related violations in August 2020. Is that right?
Yes, because that the mask, when they first started, and one of my staff didn't have them pulled out, and so we got a violation of that, and we already paid for it. Yeah, but it's just on the record. So that very simple violations.
Yeah, understood. Just in the future, if you ever apply here, we ask this question in the application. Have you had an SLA violation in the last 5 years? And you didn't put it in the questionnaire, and so I had to find it.
No, because they just sent the letter probably like last month, maybe.
Okay, but I was able to find it online, so I'm just,
I apologize on behalf of my client. He didn't realize.
Okay, thank you. We already have a lot of work. Oh, Susan, that reminds me, I forgot to say about the work on the office. I'm sorry.
Say what?
I forgot to give my speech about lawyers.
Oh, yes, maybe, before more people leave after this one.
Okay, sorry about that. I had it written down and everything and I forgot.
And we'll ask everyone who's still here to stay.
Yeah, please do not leave. Okay. All right, I don't have any questions about this. Anyone from the committee have any questions?
I didn't see any signatures.
We got signatures.
62, sorry, Herman, 62 signatures. I forgot to say it.
Okay.
That's my mistake.
We should probably let people know that they're all posted on the website now that they're required earlier.
Yeah, so committee, just so you know, also now petitions are being sent in by 12 p.m. the Friday before the meetings, and then Ed is very kindly posting them on a separate line on the 30-day notice questionnaires page, so you can easily access them there, and that goes for members of the community as well. Okay, any other questions, comments, committee? Okay.
There was no other license at this place, right? Or
there was. It was Pouring Ribbons, the cocktail
it's still
bar.
There. It's still there. It's an active license. Its number is 1260874.
Okay, so the license is still active, but they've closed. Herman. But yes, it was a cocktail bar for like 10 years on the second floor.
Okay.
It's actually physically still open. I was there last week.
Oh, really?
Sorry to interrupt. Sorry to interrupt, but I was actually there last week.
Oh, weird. I feel like I saw that it had closed. Okay, thank you for clarifying.
Yeah, they're still open, but you know, their license, I mean, their lease going to be ended in March. So this is taking over.
Got it.
Mhm.
Thank you everyone for correcting me. Okay. Okay, anyone from the committee have any other questions before I see if there's anyone from the public here to speak? Okay, no one here. Is anyone here from the community to speak on number 13, 225 Avenue B? Okay, seeing nobody. I'm going to share the stipulations so we can go through it together. Okay, so it's a liquor, wine, beer, and cider license for an omakase sushi restaurant with a less than full service kitchen serving food during all hours of operation, food prep area, opening no later than 4 p.m. and closing by 2 a.m. all days. No outdoor space. They'll install soundproofing as necessary with the assistance of a sound engineer. They have a closed fixed facade because it's on the second floor. Actually, no DJs, no promoted events, no event with a cover fee, no scheduled performances, no more than 2 private parties per month. Happy hour must end by 6. No wait lines. Staff person responsible for ensuring no loitering. You may have live music consisting of incidental acoustic jazz musicians on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday nights only. Does that all sound right?
Sounds good.
Okay, great. Committee, any issues before we go to a vote? Okay. Stop sharing. Okay, moving to a vote for number 13, 225 Avenue B. Michelle, yes. David?
Yes.
Jamie?
Yes.
Herman?
Yes.
Jesse?
Yes.
Paul?
Yes.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks. We'll send you guys the stipulations tomorrow. Please sign and return them expediently.
All right, thank you very much.
Thanks, guys. Okay, is the applicant for number 17 here?
Michelle, you're going to give your speech.
Oh, thank you, Susan. Okay.
Before anyone left.
Yes. Okay. Please, everyone, especially those of you who come back here month after month. The community board is a small and mighty team, but we do not have the capacity. And when I say we, I mean Susan and her team in the office, like Ed, who everyone who's an applicant interacts with, cannot do last minute work on these applications. We cannot handhold through the full process. We have as the gentleman who spoke earlier said, the questionnaire is very straightforward. It is very easy to use. We work very, very hard on this to make sure that we can reduce the amount of work that has to be done on our end. We are I believe, probably Susan, the community board that receives the most liquor licenses every month, but we are not a liquor licensing processing agency, but it feels sometimes like the applicants turn us into that. Susan is extremely generous with her time, but we need everyone to be an equal partner in that. We cannot have people sending us stuff as single pages the day of at 4 p.m. It's not tenable. We have a service to the community to evaluate these applications, as thoroughly as possible. And it's impossible for us to do that if the applicants do not play along. So we really ask that you do everything by the book with the instructions. Ed follows up with people 10 times a month to try and get them to send things in every month. So please be respectful and be an equal partner in this process with us. All the committee members do not earn money for this, but we spend a lot of time on it. And so we hope that you will be respectful of our time. Susan, anything you want to add?
No, I appreciate that. And, many people do send their Ed gives a due date. Many people respect it. I want to thank them for it. And for the ones that we follow up 3 and 4 times and then get angry at us, please don't make us do that.
Thanks, Susan. Okay, all right, so number 17, Brindle Room, is the applicant present?
Hi,
Yes.
Michelle. I'm not trying to interrupt, but I sent you a message because my client is actually, he joined the meeting.
Okay, all right, we're gonna have to come back to you though, because I just called 17.
Okay, so it's number 12, okay?
All right, thank you. Okay, number 17, Brindle Room, are you present, applicant?
Yes.
Okay, hi.
Hello.
Let me just drop the questionnaire in the chat. Okay. Number 17, Brindle Room. I'll read the highlights. Okay, this is an application for 647 East 11th Street between Avenue A and Avenue B and Avenue C, excuse me, for a full on premises, LNO of 74 people, 17 tables and 38 seats with 1 L-shaped 20-foot bar with 10 seats. Neighborhood American food served during all hours of operation, ambient recorded background music only. And there are 5 full on premises liquor licenses within 500 feet per the lamp map. I believe that the location is actually still licensed as Virginia's, which received a full license in March 2016 with stipulations that it closed by 12 a.m. all nights. Virginia's closed during the pandemic. This applicant who's applying tonight operated the Brindle Room at 277 East 10th with a wine beer license for a decade before closing in June 2021. There have been no commercial 301 complaints at this location, and 28 residents who live within 2 blocks of the location signed a petition in favor. The applicant is asking for hours of 11 a.m. to 12 a.m. all days. Just one question, Jeremy, do you intend to have a happy hour?
We would have, is that a liquor happy hour or a food happy hour? Does that matter? Like we were gonna do like a happy hour for just for food.
We don't
Susan?
need to, we don't need
Yeah.
to put that on the agenda, on the stipulation.
On the stipulations. Okay, all right.
They can
Okay,
do
cool.
all the discount food they want.
Okay, great. Thanks for clarifying. Okay, anything, Jeremy, that you need to correct that I said?
No, I'd just like to say that we were open for 10 years, as you said already. We're really, we're transferring the liquor license from Virginia's, and it would be really operating in the neighborhood for 10 years. I'm really happy to be able to stay in the neighborhood, and the opportunity to sell a little bit of liquor will help. After 10 years, I know that it helps to be able to sell a little bit of liquor.
Sure. Okay. Any questions from the committee?
No questions. I know the applicant personally. Big fan of him, his product.
Oh, wait, Jamie, you need to.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. I also, like, what, a conflict of interest, I suppose. I'm his partner in another restaurant, but I knew his product prior to becoming partners with him at Brindle Room. And while I cannot and will not be voting on this, I am strongly in favor of this application.
Thanks, Jamie. Any other questions from the committee?
And Clint has his name up. Oh, no, sorry.
I know.
He was one time. Takes a while.
Yes. Okay, Clint, go ahead.
I fully support it. I just had a quick question. I noticed on your menu, it's slightly different. Is this a new location? You don't have the ability for the smoker for your smoked wings and smoked meats?
We probably will be doing smoked chicken wings at some point. if we can work it out with the small smoker, then we will. So yes, there will be, at some point, there will be some smoked items.
Okay, great, because those were really good. Sorry.
Thank you.
Thanks, Clint. Okay, anyone else from the community here to speak on this item, number 17, 647 East 11th Street, Brindle Room?
Hi, my name is Michelle O'Neill. I live across the street from the proposed restaurant, and I really don't want them to have a liquor license because I knew what it was like when Virginia's was there. And there will be loud music and there will be people drunk on the sidewalk, and we have children.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else in the community, please put your hand up now. The next hand I see is Allie Ryan. Allie, go ahead.
Thank you. I also live across the street, and I also oppose a full liquor license for the Brindle Room. Put your sound off. Sorry, my husband's also going to testify. Anyway, I think it's important to note that Virginia's closed just this past month, not because of the pandemic. They closed because they want a larger space. And secondly, I want to say that for the Brindle Room to say a small sidewalk cafe, it's 40 seats. And clearly, if you look at their application, they're saying that they have 38 seats inside with 10 bar seats. So they're doubling the size of their restaurant with the outdoor seating, which with Virginia's and next door Xica restaurant, which is 80 seats outdoors, has decreased the quality of life in our neighborhood, specifically with the rats and the noise pollution. Having the outdoor dining open on the weekends, I feel like I should be ordering a glass of wine as opposed to going to bed at 9 o'clock and tucking in my children. So I noticed that the Brindle Room had a wine and beer license in their previous location, or at least that's the impression from their website. So I'd like to suggest that they be given a wine and beer license to begin at this location, and which is similar to Virginia's. When they first opened, they were given a wine and beer license as well. And I will say I did support Virginia's when they did get their full liquor license, but they proved to be good neighbors. And I would like to ask the same of the Brindle Room. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Susan, go ahead.
Yeah, this is in general. It's not about this specific. And this is something I would hope that the committee could, in the future, remind people of. I don't believe that I've ever had a complaint about Virginia's. It is really, really necessary if you're having problems to let the community board know for a couple of reasons. One, it gives the owners a chance to rectify the problem. Two, it allows us to document it, work with the police. And if there are problems, and I don't doubt there were, but it allows us to prove it. We can't just go on somebody's word. It allows us to document it. There will be ones coming up later that you will see are very well documented and makes a difference. So if you're going to say, that there is a place with problems, and I live in the same area, so I know it's true, you have to let us know that these problems exist. It can't be just when a license comes up. And I say that, as someone who lives in the neighborhood, suffers from a lot of these same issues, and I would like us to all deal with it as productively as possible. Thank you.
Thanks, Susan. And can I ask, did you have any complaints from the Brindle Room when
Never.
he was operating there for a decade?
Never.
Okay.
Never.
Thank you. I think he's kind of proven as a good neighbor then. Okay, the next hand I see is Christopher. Christopher, go ahead. Christopher, you're mute. Okay, go.
I'd like to point out you may have had no complaints from Brindle Room, but they were not operating outside as far as I know. They did not have outdoor seating at that location. They're asking to move into a location with 40 seats currently outside. It's like a block party bar outside our bedroom windows. So far, we may not have the written record of it because we were able to mainly work it out with Virginia's, but you have here in the last 3 people, Allie, Ryan, Michelle, myself, here's 3 oral testimonies that Virginia's got, too loud, and it was pre-pandemic, but we were able to work it out with them. During the pandemic, they added the shed, of course, but they also added speakers. So the space that the Brindle Room plans to move into is a shed, holds about 40 people, and it's wired for outdoor sound, which
Outdoor
I don't
sound
think
is illegal. Outdoor
Yes,
sound
well,
is totally illegal.
okay. Well, let's, we'll probably be dealing with that, and because it's still wired in there. And the sorry, that off track. But the doors. Yeah, Virginia's installed. I'm not sure what they're called. Maybe they're called French doors. I don't know. But these doors that made their entire 4th wall flip open, and they had no wall, so they would have an open air restaurant even before the pandemic, and it was a problem. We had to work with them as far as it. So if you're going to open a burger joint with full liquor license, then it's going to be a real problem. Especially they're already saying on the application they'll be playing live, or not live, but playing music inside. It's hard to see the application in the middle of Zoom call, my format here, but so that's a problem. I think Allie, Ryan had mentioned that we would like them to apply for beer and wine
Okay,
first.
could you wrap it up, please?
Okay.
Thank you.
Basically, we're happy that Brindle, as a neighbor, we think the community board has to step in and start some tentative agreements. I don't think they should go past 9 p.m. and then they should be able to apply for a full liquor license and longer hours. But first, we'd like to establish that they're good neighbors and that we can work with them. That would be our request.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, and I represent an entire building who have asked me to speak for them, 648 East 11th Street. So I'm the representative.
Okay, just for the future, we can't really just take you at face value when people say that they're representing a whole building. We need just so you know for the future. So
I will say I'm an elected representative on the board of that building. I'm an elected official.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, committee, do you have any follow-ups after hearing from the community? I mean, just to answer about outdoor dining, obviously we've been putting in all of our stipulations: no speakers, no TV monitors, closing by 10 p.m., which is more restrictive than what the city's allowing. He's asking for 12 a.m. all nights inside, ambient music only, closing doors by 10 p.m., which is our standard stipulation. As Susan said, no problems for the Brindle Room over the course of 10 years. So does anyone from the committee have any questions or concerns about this?
I actually wanted to know about the 11 p.m. outdoor on the weekends.
We're not going to do that. We never do that.
Okay. Got it. Good.
Anyone else in the committee have any concerns? Okay. Can I just do a straw vote? Oh, Herman, go ahead.
No, I said what it is based on the testimony there. They always say the proof is inside the pudding. So if they will try to come back, but they have to work with the community. And I feel all of these organizations should work with the community, but some people just after they get going, they disregard the neighborhood and the residents, and it's difficult to take their license away from them. But I will abstain on this one.
Okay. Okay, Jamie, you're not voting. Paul, what are you thinking?
Thinking yes.
Okay, David,
Yeah, there's a long history of the applicant.
okay, Jesse.
Yeah.
David, I have a question though. Parliamentarian. So our committee is 8 people, but does the vote count for who's present tonight? Because if we have 4 yeses, 1 abstention, and 1 present not voting, it's for 4 yeses. Does it pass? The motion carries.
It's of the people present as long as.
Okay, okay.
Except Jamie, he doesn't. count.
Right, no, I know, but I counted 4 besides that, and Jamie, so it's 4 of 6.
Michelle, I do have to say though, no outside speakers.
Oh
Correct.
yeah, no, that's our standard
Illegal.
stipulation. We don't allow that. It's illegal, and it's illegal to have outdoor amplified sound.
That's correct. What Susan is saying is he's not voting, so he is
Correct, but it's 4 out of 6,
correct.
so that's fine, right?
So there's 7 people here tonight, right?
No,
Right.
6.
He doesn't count.
Okay, so you don't count Jamie at all in this. It's
I
like
see
he's
what you're saying.
not here.
Got it. Okay, so we're fine. I just wanted to double check in case I need to put something in the vote sheet.
You don't-
Okay, I'm gonna show
It's 3 out of 5 then, that's pretty fair.
Okay. 647 East 11th Street. Liquor, wine, beer, and cider, neighborhood American. Kitchen open all times. Jeremy, you understand that by saying 11 a.m. it means that you must be open by 11 a.m. all days.
That's our ultimate goal. At the moment, we're only staffed to do that on some days.
Okay, so then we need to do it different, because if you heard us before, it means that you must be open by 11 a.m.
I did. I had a question about that. We want to open at 11 on Saturday and Sunday for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. And beyond that, it's our goal to be able to, as quickly as possible, to be staffed up and open by 11 or 11:30 for lunch.
So what time should I put for the other days of the week?
You may open earlier than what you say. You may not open later than what you say.
Right.
Okay, so can you put, for during the rest of the week, can you put 4 p.m.?
Sure.
It's very different.
But we want to, we were open for lunch at Brindle Room before for 10 years. We're going to be open for brunch. Eventually, it's just, we need to get dinner started first, and we need to get staffed up and all that.
Totally understand. Just need to make sure that the hours are reflected correctly here. Okay. Close any front or rear facade doors and windows at 10 p.m. every night. As you heard from the neighbors, noise is an issue from Virginia, so we ask that you please be respectful here. No DJs, no live music, no promoted events, no event with a cover fee, no scheduled performances, no more than 15 private parties per year. You'll play ambient recorded background music only. You will not have pub crawls or party buses, no unlimited drink specials, including boozy brunches, no happy hour drink specials, no wait lines, staff person responsible to ensure no loitering. Again, very important for the residents. And you will close all outdoor dining allowed under the temporary open restaurants program and any other subsequent uses by 10 p.m. all days, and no speakers or TV monitors. Does that all sound good to you, Jeremy?
Yes.
Okay. Committee, do you have any follow-up questions here? Okay, I'm going to move this to a vote. Hearing no objections. Okay, Michelle, yes. David?
Yes.
Jamie?
I got to say present, not voting.
Right, okay. Herman?
Abstention.
Jesse?
Yes.
Paul? Paul?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, okay. Thank you. All right, so Jeremy will send you the stipulations tomorrow morning. Please sign and return them as expediently as possible because our meeting is on Tuesday. Our full
Thank you
board
very
meeting.
much.
So Michelle, we
Yeah.
require everyone to have them back by Friday.
But it makes it easier if you get it even earlier than that.
That's fine, but it's not like as soon as possible. They can't go after Friday.
Okay. Okay, cool. I apologize to everyone who's here now that I've sort of dug myself in this hole of doing this more straightforward ones. I feel like I need to do the number 12 because it seems like the applicant is in a foreign country. So bear with us. Hopefully this one will be relatively quick. All right, so number 12, Beloved Cafe. Are you all here now?
Yes, we are. My name is Jenny Hong. I'm appearing on behalf of Beloved Cafe LLC. And also for the applicant, Mr. Kambis Fahim Jelani is also present. Can you say hello, Kambis?
Yes, hello, hi. Yes, I am here. Yes, with my partner,
Okay.
Amy Vito. We both run the restaurant. Yes, thank you.
Okay, thanks. Okay, putting the questionnaire here in the chat. All right, committee. So application to license for beer wine license for Beloved Cafe, which is at 196, 198 Allen Street between East Houston and Stanton. They're currently operating without a license. Certificate of occupancy of 48 people, about 38 seats total, full kitchen that serves fully vegetarian and then also vegan menu. There's one projection, one screen. There are 35 full on-premises liquor licenses within 500 feet. This was previously La Pala, which closed in 2017. The applicant has operated a similar concept in San Francisco, but this is his first establishment in New York. No 311 complaints here. We received no opposition. 5 residents signed a petition. Hours are opening no later than 8 a.m. and closing by 12 a.m., asking for outdoor dining. And then I know that you all are asking for live music and asking for entertainment level, but the hours that you're asking for the music was from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. and then 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. Are those for certain days or all days you're asking for that live music okayness?
Okay, for me, because this information is provided by the applicant. So then the live music, which is going to be it's going to be an ambient music, which will be just instrumental, just very quiet music. So he's asking from Monday, the music will be played during the dinner time from 6 o'clock to 10 p.m.
Okay.
So Tuesday on Wednesday, no music. Just it'll be playing just the recorded quiet music. And from Thursday through Sunday, the live music, it can also like the quiet music, it will be start from the brunch, which 11 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Okay.
Then the next hour will be during the dinner time, which will be 6 p.m. to 10 p.m.
Okay.
Is that correct, Hemi?
That is correct, yes. And it's all going to be acoustic music. And on Monday night, it's going to be classical music. The classical music students, they come and jam in our restaurant. So that's the reason we are asking for it. And we are bringing the community together for that classical music.
Okay. Okay, anything else that you need to clarify from what I said?
No, I think this was the only reason we weren't able to finish up with the stip because of the live music.
Yeah.
It's every day except Tuesday.
Tuesday and Wednesday. Tuesday and Wednesday, no.
That's an easier way to put it, Paul. I'm just gonna put this in the chat so Okay, anyone from the committee have any questions? Okay, anyone from the community here to speak on this item, number 12, 196, 198 Allen Street, Beloved Cafe? Okay,
I did have a question actually.
No, I just.
sure. Jamie, go
Um,
ahead, and then Herman.
There was something about streaming, like live streaming performances, or did I make that up?
You mean TV screen?
No, didn't I see somewhere in the application that you were talking about doing like live streaming performances? Or did I make that up?
No, that's not correct. No.
Okay, my bad.
Okay.
Herman, go ahead.
Well, that area between Stanton and East Houston, closer to East Houston, there's just like a strip mall, and there's a big restaurant that when you go down there, below that there is a huge restaurant, which nobody seems to be able to make a business work. And then you have that small, or the space that you're talking about, having music that much time a week. I mean, it doesn't seem plausible to me. It's just that, I mean, I know it's a wide street and everything, but there are houses on top and there's housing across the street. And I don't think having that much music makes sense at the corner of that street. I just don't think so.
So what are you proposing? Anything that you want to propose, Herman, as a compromise?
I think it should only happen on weekends, not during the week at all.
Okay. Are you okay with like all the, like during brunch on the weekends and dinner?
Yes.
Okay.
That's what I'm thinking about. I know that
Okay.
place. I mean, I just live a block away from it, and I know. And right now, the area closest to Houston Street is all boarded out. I mean, I think somebody's trying to open it at some time. But I think it would be totally ridiculous to have that kind of operation during the week, especially all during the days and evenings and stuff like that. I think it's ridiculous.
This is Amy. I'm one of the co-operators of Love Cafe. We just wanted to mention that the music is really background music. It's not like we're doing like live performances, but it's more ambiance music. So we're talking about jazz on the weekends. During the weekdays, it would be more like, like a classical guitar music. So it's not, we're not talking about bringing in bands and like doing live performances.
No, I understand.
It's just for our diners.
I understand what you're talking about, and I still think it's absolutely ridiculous to have music all the time at that corner.
Wait, isn't it right next to Rockwood?
It is right next to the Rockwood, yes. It's not a small space. We have 1,000 square feet of space on the main floor and 1,000 square feet of space in the kitchen. So I think you are mistaking us by with the space next door to us, which is a fairly small space. We have a big space with big garage doors.
Yeah, your space is beautiful. I've seen it.
Thank you.
Yeah. And that's part of our model, is that we really create ambiance for our guests. So of course the food is a part
Yes,
of it.
but you don't create
decor.
ambience for the neighborhood and the people who live here.
Well, I mean, that's
that's a whole my
Okay,
apologies.
hold on one
our
second.
whole-
Hold on one second. David, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm gonna disagree with Herman. I was actually looking forward to a place to go on a Monday evening. Sounded great to me. Is this, can I ask if it is to be amplified or is it to be not amplified? If it's to be not
Acoustic,
amplified. and you're
incidental
talking-
acoustic background
If
music.
if it is acoustic and it's things like classical guitars, even if I could hear it at the table, that's a complete positive for the neighborhood.
Okay, so David, you're okay with the proposal then?
I am.
Okay. Okay.
I would agree with David on that.
Okay, Jesse.
Yes, I'm fine with it.
if there were a limit to the number of musicians, because yes, if there are a large,
Yeah.
12-piece brass band, even if it's unamplified, that could be a problem.
Yeah,
So
so
if
maybe we should say
that-
it may have up to 3 incidental ambient acoustic live musicians. I feel like that's our typical number. That's what Mi Salsa across the road has.
I mean, I think that limits it. Herman, do you agree?
Okay.
Yeah, if you limit it to that narrow, time is fine with me, but
May I just jump in? This is Amy again from Beloved Cafe.
Sure, just if you don't mind being quick.
Yes, on Monday nights, we have the classical music. As Kami mentioned, there are students from all over the city. We usually have about 5 to 6, cellists. And I mean, it is a really stunning performance. It's a gift to the community. It's not amplified. And they're very intimate, nights of music and cultural appreciation. And so I just want to, just put it out there that it would be great if we can keep that.
David.
Simultaneous or sequential?
I'm sorry, it's simultaneous. Yeah. So yeah, we might have cellists, we might have violinists, flautists.
And our whole intention is to bring in community together, and we just very much pay attention to the noise and noise level and whatnot. So this is like, as we mentioned, it's all acoustic, not amplified, and they're all playing together very beautifully, but not loud.
Okay, so maybe we should say up to 6 incidental live ambient acoustic musicians at background level on Mondays, and up to 3 Thursday to Sunday during brunch. Does that sound like a good compromise, David?
If the applicant, if that's what they're interested in doing, we should be stating what they intend. We should create that envelope.
Well, no, we don't need to do what they intend. We can tell
No,
them
we
what
don't
we
need
want.
to, but I would be interested in hearing what they're saying. I probably have already alluded to the fact that I find live performance of unamplified music to be a net good.
Yeah. Okay, so
but I agree we should put an envelope around it. I just would like to hear if the applicant thinks that 3 musicians on the evening.
Susan, what were you gonna say?
I'd say Rockwood's been there for years and we never had a complaint about them.
Okay, can we just, okay, so applicants, would 6 on Monday night and up to 3 on the weekend, Thursday to Sunday be fine? Applicant?
Yes, that's
Okay.
correct. Yes, thank you.
Okay, all right. Any other questions, folks? I feel like we've debated this enough. Okay. Let me share my screen with the stipulations. Okay. Try and read this. One second. That did not work at all. Okay. Sorry, trying to copy and paste from the resolution, and it is definitely not working. All right, I was gonna read it from the resolution and fix it later. Okay, this is an application for a wine, beer, cider license for Beloved Cafe at 196 Allen Street, a vegetarian vegan cafe with the kitchen open and serving food during all hours of operation, opening no later than 8 a.m. and closing by 12 a.m. Sidewalk Cafe, 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. But of course, as our standard stipulations, no speakers or TV monitors outside. You'll close your big windows by 10 p.m. or whenever there's an amplified or live music playing. So that's very important. You must have those big garage doors closed if there's any live music playing. You will not have DJs, promoted events, any event in which a cover fee is charged, or scheduled performances. As we talked about extensively, you may have acoustic live musicians. up to 6 on Monday, 6 to 10, up to 3 Thursday to Sunday from 11 to 3, and from 6 to 10.
Michelle, can I just
Yeah.
ask one quick question? Because I know my applicant actually he wanted to have DJs. Kami, are you still online, right? Kami?
Yes, I'm still online. Yes.
Because you wanted to put a DJ. There's going to be a invited DJ. Maybe you could
you know, the DJ for ambient music. You know, some of the music we found they have a license that we can't play those music. So these DJs like originally make the music, and it's an ambient music while people are dining.
But not like a club.
Not like a club, not a club music or anything like that. But the DJ that actually makes the music on site, and creates an ambient music for the customers.
Okay.
Because I just wanted to clarify that, because I know there will be DJ, because I don't want to put anything that's, you know.
Yeah, there's a difference between curating the music and giving it to the people to put and play on a rotating basis, or there's a guy standing there controlling the music and the selection of the music. Which of it are that? Because DJs.
Yeah, I'm a little confused about this.
Yes. So it's the curation of the music, basically what song is being played and what type of a songs based on the mood of the night.
But where are they playing it from? Like an iPad, or are they playing it from like a DJ deck?
No,
from like a
computer. Normally they bring their computer and connects to a little mixing board and goes to the speaker system that are inside the cafe and restaurant.
Well, that's pushing it for me.
Yeah, I can
honestly.
Guys, Michelle, may I?
Go ahead.
One thing that I find that we do is like a DJ, especially in an incident like this, I'm not pushing for it, but we talk about a DJ as though a DJ changes the volume of the music. Like with or without a DJ, music can be super loud or super quiet. I'm much more curious about the type of music and the volume at which, if we're able to discuss that, because whether one person does it beforehand or one person does it on the night, they can play music as loud as they choose to.
Right, I understand. That's why I was confused about what they meant by this, because from mixing the live music sounded a little different than what we typically hear on these things. How many DJs are you planning to have? When are you planning to have them? How many per month? It wasn't clear from the application.
Yeah, it would be just such a rare thing. I mean, maybe if we end up doing this, it would be once a month. And I just want to say that, you know, we're more of an upscale establishment. We're not like a place that, you know, we're not planning on serving beer. We're, you know, much more about curating the experience for the guests. So I think oftentimes when we think about DJ music, we think about going to clubs and there's like, you know, people dancing, but this is something a little bit different. This is, as Jay mentioned, it's something that, you know, it's not going to be like, you know, loudly amplified. It's just going to be kind of more, you know, harmonious with the environment.
Background level.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Jamie, are you okay with this? It sounds like you're probably okay with that.
Yeah, I am.
Okay. I'm fine with this if we stipulate that it's no more than one DJ a month playing music, curated music at background level. Can that be, what do folks think about that? David?
Sure.
Okay, Paul?
Yes.
Okay. So that would be 4 votes. Okay. They have, oh, God damn it.
When I hear the word DJ, I'm thinking of someone who's trying to get the crowd excited.
Yeah.
And so that does not sound like what this is at all, which is great.
No, I'm just commenting on the fact that this is not a fillable bar here. So I'm gonna have to put a comment to add this stipulation tomorrow. I look at this again. Okay, so no more than one DJ per month playing music at an ambient background level. Does that sound good?
Yep, sounds good.
Okay. Okay. Any other questions, comments, concerns from the committee before we move to a vote? Okay. Hearing no further objections. Stop sharing my screen. Okay. We're voting on number 12, Beloved Cafe, 196 Allen Street. David.
Yes.
Herman.
Yes, but I'll monitor it.
With what?
No, just a sidebar that I was sure
Okay.
I pass here every day. I'll make sure.
Okay, he'll be there watching you guys. Paul.
Yes.
Jamie.
Yes.
Jesse.
Yes.
Okay. Thanks everyone for bearing with. We'll send you the stipulations, and as Susan said, they must be in by Friday. Okay, I'm just gonna take a quick break before we go on to the next one, but we're gonna be doing number 11, 191 Orchard Street next. Let me just drop the questionnaire in the chat so everyone can review it. I'll be back in just 2 minutes. David, do you mind, or Jamie, do you mind if anyone starts talking, to just let them know that I will be right back. Meeting will start momentarily.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you, everyone. Please come by for the best sourdough bread in the world. Thank you.
Okay, we're back. Number 11, 191 Orchard Street. Are the applicants present?
Yes, good evening, Rosa Ruiz for the applicant, and who's here with me, Dresden.
Hello. Hi. Hi. Okay, and I just want to say thanks to everyone for hanging around while we tried to get through a lot of applications quickly. We have 2 more. This is the first of 2. Okay, I'm going to read through the highlights. Rose, I'll ask you if you have any clarification question or anything to clarify, and then we'll go to the committee for questions. Okay, so this is an application for 191 Orchard Street for a full on-premises liquor license. There is no certificate of occupancy. Application asks for 12 tables and 3 counters inside. 1 bar with 28-foot long bar with 19 seats, shareable plates of American comfort food with Latin Asian fusion, food 1 till 1 a.m. Sunday to Wednesday, and 3 a.m. Thursday to Saturday. There are 37 full on-premises liquor licenses within 500 feet. This location was previously the 6th Ward, which was granted a license to operate a vegetarian restaurant in 2007, but closed after having its license revoked in 2015. For operating outside its stated method of operation. The 6th Ward was a known problem to the community board with SLA complaints for operating beyond stipulations, operating beyond the legal capacity without applying for a C of O, and using an illegal backyard that did not meet DOB standards, and only has 1 egress. The applicant tonight is also the owner and operator of the Cabin Bar located at 205 East 4th Street, which came before this committee in May 2018 and has a full on-premises liquor license. The committee received several emails about the Cabin Bar describing illegal parties in the backyard, including cigar parties that caused noise and air issues for the residents in proximity. And there were 11 301 complaints at the Cabin Bar with NYPD action necessary since 2018. I'll let Susan talk about this a little bit more, but the office has found this applicant to not be an operator willing to work with Community Board 3 to mitigate the conditions that were causing complaints coming from operating outside of stipulations. We received 55 opposition letters organized by the dwellers, and we received a letter from a rep from the dwellers in opposition to the application, detailing the many issues that the 6th Ward caused, and also detailing the ways that the cabin is operating outside of its stipulations, and so the operator should not be rewarded with another license. A resident of 191 Orchard Street wrote to us asking that we deny because of all the problems with the 6th Ward, and the petition that was submitted did not have any signatures from within 2 blocks of the location. The hours being requested are closing by 2 a.m. Sunday to Wednesday and 4 a.m. Thursday to Saturday, and asking for outdoor dining as well. Happy hours till 8 p.m. Anything you need to clarify or correct, applicant Rosa?
Yes, so the hours of operation from Monday through Friday would be opening at 4 o'clock in the morning. That's the only difference.
4 o'clock in the afternoon.
4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Just for dinner.
For dinner. And then the other thing also is that he has all the applications currently pending. He's working with an architect to obtain the proper certificate of occupancy for both inside and the backyard.
Okay. Sorry, can you just say that again? Opening no later than 4 p.m. What days?
Monday through Friday.
Okay, thank you. Okay, anyone from the committee have any questions?
Oh, and also I had also emailed the Lower East Side dwellers asking if we could meet with them, and they never responded to me. So we could have addressed all of their concerns with the meeting.
Okay, thanks. Anyone from the committee have any questions?
I don't think this has much to do with what they're opening, but that's the building that the young lady was fatally slashed a short while ago.
What?
I don't think that has to do with the application, but
On Orchard Street?
all right, I don't.
Yes.
I think it was like 10 years ago, but
Okay.
okay, any questions from the committee pertinent to the application?
Did I miss the fact that the operator lost some kind of license somewhere else?
No, the previous establishment. lost
Previous
its license.
establishment.
Yeah. For operating outside of its, I don't know, Herman, if you remember, they said that they were going to be a vegetarian restaurant, but we're not. I mean, I think that there were many other complaints, but that's what actually finally got the license taken away.
Right.
So this operation is completely different from the 6th Ward. It's not going to be operating the way 6th Ward was operated whatsoever. This will be a full service sit down restaurant with shareable plates, the way the concept is over with the shareable plates over at the Great Cabin.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions from the committee?
Yeah, a couple questions. Does it have a usable basement? There is a usable basement space, right?
Just for storage, correct.
Just for storage. It's not licensed for
No.
Okay.
It's a store.
What's up with the claim that cabin didn't work well with CB3? Is there any truth to that?
I will speak to that.
Oh, okay.
Susan, go ahead.
So this is a well-documented, I was referring to well-documented complaints. We have had complaints since pre-COVID. I have met the owner, and it started with backyard parties. And it was stipulation said no backyard. And what happened is the owner, I guess, has some contacts with the police. And the first party where people started complaining because it was an overwhelming backyard party. And I called the commanding officer at that time, and he informed me that it was a policeman's daughter graduating from college and it would not be stopped. The whole block was taken, it was like a war zone. It was terrible. The backyard parties have not stopped since, except now they include cigars. I have many photos of this. Now they include cigars. It is not legal because they don't have a proper smoking space. The smoke is going into people's apartments. The former commanding officer introduced me to the owner at Police Precinct Community Council, and they both tried to tell me that, you know, he wanted to work with the community. They wanted everything to be nice, and I explained it's still illegal. You can't do something because it's okay with the police if it's illegal, and they were breaking their stipulations. They're continuing to break their stipulations, and there are residents here who also documented the problem and worked with me, have been working with me for years on this. It was just, to be honest, it was one of those, it was just insulting to the community, the way that stipulations were signed and then ignored.
Thank you, Susan. David, go ahead.
Looking for what was in the questionnaire, but I think I saw, yeah, about the types of music, background music and entertainment level. I'm curious, what are the plans for music? This is usually the biggest impact of this kind of.
The plans for music are background music during the week, a DJ on the weekends. It's not going to be at entertainment level. It's all at background level only. And the DJ is only just to control. He's playing top 40. And it's still going to be at a very low level where you're not going to hear it outside. And so this way people can still have a conversation. It's more to just control the music flow.
So it's inadvertent that you checked off.
It shouldn't have entertainment level shouldn't have been checked off.
I'm going to actually suggest committee, maybe we should hear from the community members before asking other questions. Does that sound good? Okay.
Are you talking to me?
No, so the committee members, just hear from community first. Okay, so if you're here from the public.
Could I just add one thing?
Yeah, go ahead.
I just focused on the cabin. I guess the fact that they had police protection, I guess, was very difficult for me, but I do want to talk about 6th Ward. I don't want to go into the details because I know the residents will be doing, but I want to collaborate that we legally documented with the SLA and with DOB the illegal use in the backyard. It was one of those locations that even the SLA seemed amazed at how the stipulations had been broken, particularly on the type of operation. So, but I'll let the residents speak to that.
Okay, thanks, Susan. Okay. Clint, go ahead.
Okay. Hi, I'm here representing the Esports Street Lower Avenue B Block Association, and we represent the block that the cabin is on. We met with them several years ago for quite a few meetings, and we had a lot of negotiations with them, and they assured us that they wanted to be good neighbors and that they would abide by these stipulations. They wanted to be a family-friendly restaurant, as they referred to it, where people would bring their kids. They fully understood they were not allowed to use the backyard, and they did, we end up going to the SLA on the live music issue, and they agreed that they would not have live music, and they have had live music. So things that they knew were very hot button issues for the community and that we've had problems with, they, I guess, basically just deliberately did what they wanted. I tried to speak to a manager once. I knew the managers because we had met with them, and the bouncer wouldn't let me in. I've had many of the other residents of the block have had similar experiences. I spoke to a few of them to ask them if they wanted to come speak, and they said they weren't comfortable because of the way they've been treated by the doormen. So they did not want to, I guess, show their face for fear of being retaliated against. So yeah, basically they promised us they would be good neighbors and do with it, and they pretty much did the total opposite of everything that they promised. And this was not just, I mean, I've observed this personally walking by. Prior to COVID, there was crowds out on the street so much that you couldn't walk on that side of the street. During COVID, it was bad. I don't know, I don't know if, I don't know, but I just know both it was prior to COVID and after COVID that they were using the backyard and they were having large crowds on the street. So I think that's really all I had to say. They are not good neighbors at this point.
Thanks, Clint. Oops, sorry. David, go ahead. David Troutman.
Hello?
David Troutman. David, if you're trying to talk, you're muted. Okay. Oh, go ahead, David. You're unmuted now.
Am I good now? Sorry,
Yep,
I can't
go
get
ahead.
the video on, it seems.
No, you're fine. Go ahead.
So I live just down the block from this place, the 191 Orchard Street. And I know there are a couple of people who live much, much closer. But even all the way down the block, we knew that 191 Orchard was just a horrendous problem while the 6th Ward was there. It's incredibly big space, really, and the late night hours are pretty scary, especially scary for a neighborhood that already has so many problems as we currently has is this history of their other locations that we're hearing about. And I sure do appreciate people from the community board speaking up to protect other people in their community who are in different areas. So that's very much appreciated. Thank you very much. It's please oppose this license.
Thank you, David. Okay, next hand I see is Deanne. Deanne, go ahead.
Thank you, Susan, for speaking up on this and giving us an overview of their location in the East Village, as well as a brief history on the 6th Ward. Clint, thank you as well. We know this is going to not be good for our community. On its face, this should be denied outright. They want DJs, they want live music, they want to use a backyard that cannot be used. There's no egress because the property was sold. It was all in the detailed information too. I don't want to go over all of that with you. There is absolutely no way to get a vote for that backyard, but they will end up using it anyway. This is a very high risk operator and a very high risk community. And I think the evidence that we provided you with speaks for itself. Anyone that marks entertainment level and says a DJ is just going to control the sound, it's already suspicious for me. Would also like to add, if we can get clarification and maybe in the resolution that this is confirmed that his current partner at the cabin is in no way involved with this business because he has had a adverse history with the SLA where his license was revoked for Turtle Bay, I believe was the entity. So this is just, this is not the right place for this. This has been unlicensed now for 6 years. We do not need another license in this area, especially on Orchard Street, which is one of the worst areas. As for the email, I do apologize. I do not recall receiving it. We pretty much do respond to all applicants. We're known for that. So I apologize if that was missed or whatever, but nonetheless, residents would have never agreed to this kind of application for this particular space. So I hope the committee will deny it and understand that we will go to the SLA if need be. We know that's the history of this applicant, had done that with the cabin, but the SLA already took a license away from the space for a bad operator. And this is an operator that is not abiding by its stipulations now. I think it's, the SLA, I think, would side with us if there was a denial. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next hand I see is Patrick Walsh. Patrick, go ahead.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yep, go ahead.
Okay, on top of the fact that there are 37 licenses within 500 feet and these operators sound like appalling individuals, such a place would add nothing to this community except more and more drunks who come to the Lower East Side as a place to do whatever they wish to do with zero consequences. And this would just be more of the same. So I implore you to do right by this community and deny this. Thank you.
Thank you, Patrick. Okay, the next hand I see is Eric Gumbert. Eric, go ahead.
Hi, I'm a resident living across from 191 Orchard for more than 25 years, and I urge you to oppose this application. I mean, as people mentioned, just too many establishments serving liquor, and it's already a disaster. As you know, we've talked about the Sixth Ward. I just want to make it was really an absolute disaster. Booming bass at all times, crowds of screaming people exiting and smoking or waiting to have their IDs checked, and then bouncers would scream at unruly crowds. Then every night you would complain, and the bouncers would just tell the crowds to move to the left or right, but they're still screaming and yelling. And so based on the description of the club, it's really no different with the DJs and the whole description. But I just want to focus on the fact that Orchard Street is a particularly narrow street. Noise carries right across it. And even if it's less egregious than the previous one, there's still, where are they going to check IDs? And there are huge crowds out there, and they're screaming at all hours, and there's nowhere to go, particularly with the sheds. It's just a disaster. So we don't want the situation with drunken, vomiting patrons spilling to the streets again. I mean, it was unlivable. So please deny this application. Thanks.
Thank you, Eric. Okay, I don't see any other hands. Is there anyone else here from the community to speak on number 11, 191 Orchard Street? Please put up your Zoom hand expediently so we can see you.
Can I say one thing, Michelle?
Sure, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate you guys giving us the opportunity here, but I just want to say, I mean, we have zero affiliations with the old operators of the Sixth Ward. You know, as you all know, the space has been vacant for years. So I just hope you don't hold us accountable for what they were doing, because we're not affiliated with them.
Thanks. Just obviously committees, the reason why we talk about, and to everyone else, the reason why we talk about the previous operators' history is because that is one of the things that the SLA does take into account when it evaluates an application. So just that's why we talk about it extensively. Okay, now we've heard from the community. Committee, do you have any questions or comments about this? David, go ahead.
Yeah, because there was a situation with the previous applicant, we do have more influence at the SLA. I think if we explain the problems at Cabin, it will just make us stronger. So anyway, I would like to hear from the other committee members. If you disagree with me that this is a strong case, I want to hear about it because I don't want to make a mistake. But secondly, how can we make this a stronger resolution against this application?
Well, I would ask, instead of making a resolution, if we were given the opportunity to, in fact, meet with the lower East Side Dwellers Block Association and put this over and table it for a month. Because I did send the email, and I sent the email quite some time ago, and it might have very well went to spam, but we would love the opportunity to be able to sit down and discuss all of this.
Susan?
You're asking me?
They're asking if can they withdraw? I mean, can we stop them from withdrawing?
No, absolutely not. If they want to withdraw, that's fine. You know, whether the organization isn't obligated to meet with them. And I just want to say that the community board experience in the current location is not going to change.
Right. I personally don't think that anything is going to change after hearing from folks. So I don't know. I mean, obviously, DM, go ahead. I see your hands up.
I'm just sorry. Thank you for that. I just want to, though you did not, you know, you can always talk to us, but I don't think our position is going to change. We already organized with residents, and you did speak to residents that lived in the building, and there were, I think, about 7 letters against you at 191 Orchard. So you already spoke to residents in which they relayed their concerns to us, and in fact, asked you questions and talked about the egress with you. So in all honesty, while we appreciate that, I mean, you can do whatever you want. We do not believe that the opinion of the neighborhood is going to change. There's already over 50 letters of people that were very adamant against this. Thank you.
Excuse me. He just said that nobody addressed him. Nobody approached him.
Yeah.
You were in the building, and from my understanding, one of you or one of your workers was in the building, and they spoke to you about your application.
Okay, it wasn't me, so I wasn't aware of that.
Okay, so we can't stop you from withdrawing, but you've heard from DM, who was the organizer for the dwellers. So do you still want to
Yeah,
withdraw?
just put it over for a month, and DM, if you can just give us some time to meet with you in person and with the members of your block association.
Okay, so as you know, we never put anything over. It's in all our information. If you want to withdraw, you may withdraw, but then you must send us a new notice.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I meant to say that, Susan. And send.
Okay, so can you send the office an email, please, Rosa?
Yeah, I'll send it
withdrawing, and you'll send the 30-day notice again via email.
Yes, I'll do all that tomorrow morning.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. And Clint, when you have time, I want to be able to sit down and talk with you as well.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
All right. Thank you. Have a good night, everybody.
Thank you, guys.
Right, thanks.
Good night.
Bye.
Okay. All right. So then we're going to move on to, this is our last one, number 15, 230 East 9th Street. Is the applicant present?
Yes, the applicant is present. I'm Walter Drabenko, the attorney for the applicant.
Oh, geez.
Sorry.
Who was that?
That's me. That's my feedback.
Okay.
And the
all right, one
applicant
second.
is present with his Director of Operations, Adrian Drabenko.
Okay, let me just drop the application in the chat here. Okay. I'm just going to hit the high points here. Okay. So this is an application for Cloister Cafe, which is seeking a full on-premises liquor license at 238 East 9th Street between Stuyvesant Street and 2nd Avenue. C of 196 people, 14 tables and 28 seats with one stand-up L-shaped bar with 2 seats, full kitchen with food served during all hours of operation. There are 25 full on-premises liquor licenses within 500 feet. The applicant owned and operated Cloister Cafe at this location from 1987 to 2021 is seeking to reopen. They operated with a full on-premises liquor license until approximately 2020, when it was reported that there were illegal private parties happening during the pandemic in violation of the government's executive order, banning, if we all remember at the time, you weren't allowed to congregate, you had to be sitting at a table and everything had to be closed by 11 p.m. We couldn't even sit at a bar. Crazy to think about. So in August 2020, the SLA issued a summary suspension to the license because for operating as a nightclub past curfew, violating social distancing, and significant fire and life safety violations. And there were 7 criminal court summonses from the sheriff's office. I'm aware that the applicant challenged this and was given its license back temporarily, but then in January 2021, please correct me if I'm wrong on any of these details. January 2021, the SLA revoked the license after sustaining 16 of the 24 charges made against the operator following the August 2020 summary suspension, including 6 charges of failing to comply with local regulations because of the parties and a sustained pattern of noise and disorder. This is from the SLA charges, not mine. There were 20 commercial 301 complaints at this location with NYPD action necessary since 2018. We received one email from a local resident of the building who asked us not to reinstate the license. I believe she might be here tonight if we hear more. 233 residents who live within 2 blocks of the location signed a petition in favor. They're asking for 11 a.m. to 4 a.m. all days. I think we need a little more details on the live music that you're proposing. Yeah, American, Mexican, Brazilian food prepared in a full service kitchen. And I don't know if in the application you talked about the backyard, but I believe you have a backyard also. So could you please address both the backyard and the live music and anything else that you need to clarify, please?
Adrian, you want to take that, or do you want me to do it?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
So the first thing that I want to address is that 11 p.m. closing time. So a lot of the 301 complaints that we received stem from essentially a misunderstanding as to the closing hours of our outdoor garden, which is the private, it's off street, it's private property. It's not the sidewalk roadway seating. So if you are privy to the NYC restaurant, bar, and reopening toolkit, which was put out in July of 2020, in conjunction with the mayor's office, NYC Office of Nightlife, Open Restaurants Program, Department of Transportation, and then the Department of Health, it specifically said that the NYC open restaurant application does not cover usage that falls within private property. An example, backyard and patio like we have. And then on page 11, it explicitly states, quote, if you are utilizing private outdoor space for dining to which you previously had rights, then the closing time for that space remains the same as it was pre-COVID-19 as stipulated by our community board agreement or county hours and all municipal ordinances. So the 35 noise complaints, 35 complaints in general that we received via 311 from the point that we reopened, which was July 2020 through August 6, 2020, I believe stemmed from this misunderstanding. We had the, NYPD would show up and they would say, why are you open? Even on the night of August 6th, when we were raided by the SLA task force, there were two task force. The initial task force came about after 11 and they said, why are you open after 11? And I presented them with the same information that I'm presenting here in regards to the mayor's office, NYC Office of Nightlife from that reopening bar toolkit. And they said, you know what? We're going to call the SLA. They gave the SLA a call when they were at our establishment that night. And they said, you know what? You're right. You're allowed to be open. It's private property. It was outdoor dining. It wasn't these illicit, illegal pandemic parties. That was because there was one Gothamist article that was put out, and that's the only news that people heard. But in reality, that first task force that we had didn't find any issues. They said we were allowed to be open. And then a second task force was sent a little after midnight with a camera crew from Inside Edition, probably about 10 people in that camera crew, and then upwards of 15 or 20 police officers and marshals. And then they came in and they wrote us up for, a fire extinguisher that was 5 inches too high, or an exit sign that was blocked by a branch. The initial round of violations that we got were not COVID related at all. And only when we pointed out that there was nothing COVID related, the SLA said that it was an oversight, and then they included a bunch of COVID related operations. But in regards to, the complaints that we received, I believe that the major misunderstanding was because of that 11 p.m. curfew that at the time did not apply to private property outdoor gardens, for which we have a CFO. That outdoor garden has been on the plans by the DOB for maybe 15, 20, 25 years at this point. And that's, unfortunately, it was just a bunch of unfortunate circumstances. And, the SLA recommended for us to reapply for a license. And I wanna point out that my father had Lesko's Coffee Shop, which was on 7th Street and Avenue A from 1980 to 1990, that had a license for beer and wine. He had a restaurant called Ukrainian Restaurant and Caterers on the corner of St. Mark's Place and 2nd Avenue from 1988 through 1993 with the full liquor license. And then he had, as you said, a license from 1987 through 2021 at the current location. And prior to COVID, we had absolutely no complaints that we're aware of, no violations, nothing like that. So that's where we currently stand.
Okay.
And if
Susan,
I-
is it?
Yeah, I
If
would
I-
like to clarify some things. First of all,
Sure.
There was 0 complaints to the community board about use of the backyard. We're very familiar with the backside yard, and we're extremely familiar with all the rules and regulations. The issue was the loud noise, and it continues occasionally till now. The other issue is not use of the outside after 11 or use of the outside. There was underground parties inside. It was the inside parties. This was at the beginning of shutdown. Many state elected officials were contacted to lobby against any fines or repercussions. And they all contacted, this is something we need to talk about because they all contacted the community board. And basically, and they contacted our local state, and we basically told them that they did not live in their neighborhood, they weren't getting the complaints, and we asked them to not be involved in situations they weren't aware of. So it was the inside parties and it's the noise. It is not the use of, I didn't even know till now that anyone complained about using it after 11. We're very aware of private property rules. It is the noise and the indoor parties at a time when people were being hospitalized and dying left and right.
Adrian, go ahead.
Sure.
Adrian, go ahead.
I'm sort of curious. Can I ask you straight up, were you having these parties during the pandemic that the pictures?
No, those weren't parties. They were parties in the not parties, sorry. They were guests in the restaurant when we were operating, as Adrian stated, in compliance with all the restaurant guidelines. That's what was going on.
So
Okay, and so why did the SLA fine take away your license?
The SLA took the license away because they found 16 out of 24 violations, which were not COVID related. We sent the decision, and most of those violations were issued for DOB violations, which they didn't have jurisdiction to issue DOB violations. They issued fire department violations. They may have issued some health department violations as well, but the SLA doesn't have jurisdiction to issue those types of violations.
They never issued. What it was a multi-agency inspection with people from all those different agencies.
No, there weren't.
SLA does not issue
You're correct.
violations for city stuff.
You're correct, but if you look at the attachment that we put in from the SLA's decision, the administrative law judge, you'll see in that, and you read through those decisions, everything was related to non-SLA violations. We had a certificate of occupancy. The task force totally ignored it. We had a public assembly permit. They totally ignored it. We had a fire department permit for the curtains.
I'm going to say that we really don't look at what the ALJ recommends. We look at why the SLA takes away the license.
That's why they took it away.
Go back and forth.
No. That's the ALJ issued that decision, and then the SLA voted to revoke the license. Unlike any other alleged COVID violators or establishments, which we had one here today, they issued a fine and they were able to continue. For some reason, here they wanted to make a Cloister Cafe as the poster boy for SLA. Now, with regard to the criminal violations that were issued, which I have attached as Exhibit E to my second submission, those criminal violations were issued for COVID-related items. All of those criminal violations were dismissed. We've attached certificate of dispositions, and all of them were issued on August 7, 2020. So the COVID violations did not exist. They were just making the poster boy out of Cloister Cafe. Also, with regard to the violation on noise complaints, we've attached as exhibit, we've attached the building department violations. There's no violations. Health department, no violations. We have attached our New York City license profiles, and there was no violations there. And then we also attached the 311 complaints as Exhibit H, which indicates there were only several complaints during COVID. And like Adrian indicated, they did not understand or read the governor's executive order relating to operating in the private establishments. And that's why they were calling, because they thought we were not able to be open past 11.
That's not true. because I got the complaints and it had nothing to do with the hours. It was the
So
fact that there was loud noise late at night. You are not supposed to have noise that's going into neighbors' apartments.
So
And the
by-
311 records indicate
Michelle,
that
this is not.
Yeah,
the-
okay, I know. Okay, I want to hear from the residents, if that's okay, committee.
Could I just say one more thing to follow up?
Quickly, please.
So Susan said that she continued to get noise complaints from Cloister Cafe. We've been closed since May 2020. And I think that's important to point out that there's other establishments in the area that we get mistaken for in terms of noise.
Sorry,
complaints.
wait. When did you close? May 2020?
yes.
So then why were there
No, May
SLA? Why was
2021,
there?
sorry, May
Okay.
2021, sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
So we've been closed since then. So in regards to those other noise complaints that have been mentioned, obviously they didn't come from us. And then in regards to the indoor service, so the back portion of the restaurant is licensed by the DOB as an outdoor space, and it has a temporary awning and roof cover that we use during the winter. And that space, in conjunction with the space before it, which is completely uncovered. I don't know if you've ever been there, but it's an outdoor garden that goes to the back. That is where we had sit-down dinner service from July 15th to August 6th.
Okay. Okay, I want to hear from the residents committee, if that's okay.
Sure.
I don't know if any of the residents that complained are here or not.
Hi.
Ooh, Nancy, you have really, really terrible feedback. Nancy, maybe you can call in on a phone.
It may be that they're.
I'm going to try it.
Do you have two? Do you have two computers in the same place?
How do we do it?
Shelley, you want to do it here?
Okay. Look, can you hear me?
Is it Nancy?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so first of all, hello. I just want to say that I've been living in this area for 27 years, and I have been down this road before. Can you get rid of this, please? I have gone to the police department. I've gone to the EPA. I have a stack of 311 calls. I've actually spoken to Susan in person at CBD3 several times. I've been fighting this for 10 plus years. I have taken EPA readings. I've called the police numerous times. I've gone down there, and this is pre-COVID. And I've had the police tell me that they have loopholes. That I said, how can this possibly happen? You've been up in my apartment. I've done this over and over again. And the police department tells me, I've also been to the meetings at the police precinct here. They told me that they are going through loopholes where it's a private property and they can do whatever they want because of that. And I've gone down there. I've tried to speak to them. I've called them on the phone. I've gone down there. One time I went down and there was a line around the corner and someone threw a glass at me because I was trying to film exactly what was going on. The problem is, again, I've been here for 27 years. It used to be a little outdoor garden. They built a tent and they used that tent 7 days a week from whenever they open until 4:30 a.m. Every day. It's not just the weekends. Like I said, I've taken readings. It's open to DJs, to just loud music. I've heard, live music, you name it. And so I've been doing this for 10 plus years, and I don't know what else to do, because I have no problem with businesses saying open in this neighborhood, because why not? But they do not apply to the rules. I know people who own businesses who have backyards that have to close by 9-10 p.m. at night, and these rules don't apply to them.
Nancy, can I ask, was this only during COVID, or was it for the past decade?
This has been the past decade.
That they're using the backyard.
They're using the
Wow.
backyard. I've said that already. They're using the backyard since they erected this tent. They use it as a, as if it's another building, as if it's a nightclub. They have also said to me, well, Solas next door is open to 4 a.m. Solas next door is a proper building. It is not an outdoor area with a tent that they act.
Okay, and so can I ask, just, it's helpful to hear from residents about, would you just hypothetically, if they could only use their backyard till 9 p.m. or something, would that
I would
be,
have no problem with that. And I've tried to speak to them about that before. I've
Okay.
had the police up here that have called them and said, hey, you guys work it out, talk to each other. I said, that's fair. But the problem is they did not keep their promise. I would call them and once they found out it was me, they would just hang the phone up. And like I said, I have a stack of 311s, EPA, the local precinct, CBD3 again. I've spoken to Susan before. So
yeah. Okay. Okay. But if they were, but do you, I guess then my next question is, do you trust that they would, I'm asking this because, we either deny outright or we deny with stipulations whereby they would have to abide by these legal stipulations that they sign.
Right.
Your experience, you said that they have not
Nope,
abided by what they say that they'll do with you.
Correct. And I'm sorry
Okay.
to say that, but I do not trust them. I am pro East Village, but I've tried that before. Like I said, it's been a
Okay.
decade I've been trying.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Nancy, for your
Thank
input. I
you.
appreciate it.
Sure, no problem.
Okay. The next person I see is Kevin Lynch. Kevin, go ahead.
Yeah, Kevin Lynch. I'm a neighbor of Cloister Cafe, 24 years. And I strongly approve that they get their license back. The garden is a beautiful garden. It's just such an addition to any neighborhood, any city. And I think it's heartbreaking to see that gate pulled down every night. And those noise complaints can't have been from Cloister Cafe. They've been closed since May. Wonderful family, wonderful staff. Low key. Foot traffic is down on the street. There's nothing now between the middle of the block and 2nd Avenue, pretty much. I mean, Decibel's kind of an underground bar. It's just dark and it's too quiet, And I just, like I said, 23. The record stands for themselves. What business has been around that long? And I've never had any issue with them. And I just really wish the board approves these guys, this license. Thank you for hearing me out.
Okay. Thank you. The next hand I see is Wayne.
Good evening, everybody. Wayne Lawrence. I live right around the corner from Cloister's Cafe. I've been a New York City resident there for 10 years. I strongly approve for them to get their liquor license. Quite of the contrary of some of the facts that I've heard tonight, it's actually a place that I would have liked going to a couple times to actually relax after a hard day's work and running all over the city. Never seen any riffraff. I've never seen any altercations. I've never seen or witnessed any loud music or entertainment while I'm there as a patron or around the corner at my apartment. So I strongly encourage you to consider the approval.
Thank you. Next hand I see is Andrea.
Hi, thank you. I'm a born and raised New Yorker and I grew up in the area and the neighborhood. I have many memories going to Cloister Cafe with friends and family over the past 20 years. I always felt welcome, even as I've now moved and don't live in the area anymore. But since the pandemic especially, I really saw Cloister Cafe as more of an oasis just because of that outdoor garden and was able to enjoy it while it was open. I really hope that it opens again soon, because just for myself, whenever I do come into the city, it's really nice to be able to bring my daughters there and get to relive some of my childhood memories. I want to just express my support again for Cloister Cafe being a family-run establishment. They've been in the neighborhood in the area for 35 years. it would be an incredible shame to see them not get their liquor license and be able to continue operating there. Thank you.
Thanks. The next hand I see is Rob Apola. Sorry.
Hi, how are you? Can you hear me?
Yep, go ahead.
All right, well, thank you. I've been a city resident in the East Village for the past 11 years. I lived at certain points, a couple blocks north and right around the corner. The Cloister Cafe, as many of the people that were speaking in support of the institution have already kind of described, this is a classic immigrant, family-run, hardworking, absolutely classy place for an area that tends to be dominated by a lot of college kids. This is absolutely not a down the hatch or 13th step, but a place where you can go in and grab a nice bite, have a nice drink, and it is open late. So even if you are looking for a place to have something a little more mellow to finish your night, it's always nice that it's been there. The first person that had a fair amount of complaints about the space, in addition to one of the board members, I think the big question is, especially during COVID, is that back tent, and I don't understand how anyone can, in their right mind, classify that as an indoor space. It was probably one of the only safe spaces to go out, especially at the beginning of COVID, if you were concerned about health issues in particular. And again, if decibel levels and EPA readings were really of concern, I doubt that when the police showed up, they would simply walk away if those were at such aggressive levels, hosting underground pandemic parties. But I strongly support you approving their license, and thank you for hearing me out.
Thanks. The next hand I see is Vitali.
Hi, yes, thank you. Can you hear me?
Yep, go ahead.
Hi, I've been a resident of the East Village for almost 30 years now. I've been going to Cloister's Cafe for approximately 15 to 20 of those years. I've gone with my mother, I've gone with my grandmother, I've gone with friends. And one of the biggest, I guess, draw points to Cloisters is the fact that it has that unique garden. And I think it's really, really important for everyone to understand that limiting the garden times is pretty much crushing the business itself. That garden area is about 4/5 of the actual restaurant space. That indoor space that I guess has been mentioned a couple of times is probably big enough to fit 15 or so people. Over the years that I've been there, I want to say that I've barely ever seen that indoor space really filled up. So I can't imagine ever seeing any type of indoor parties that might be causing this loud music. And as a few people already mentioned, the garden is really what brings people in. The aesthetic itself doesn't exist in the East Village. And if you really reduce or remove their liquor license, I can't imagine they're surviving, and you're really going to be pulling away an important part of the East Village. And replacing it with a Starbucks or a CVS, that's not the East Village that people come to visit or even come to live in. So I fully approve them getting their liquor license.
Thanks. The next hand I see is Amelia.
Hi, so I grew up in the East Village on First Avenue, and I have been a frequent customer of Cloister Cafe for over 25 years, and I'm in full support of this liquor license. It's been a great place to come for brunch and dinner, and grab a nice meal and some drinks with my friends. The garden is beautiful and quiet. And I've never found the place to be too loud. I was always able to have comfortable conversations without shouting across the table. And I was really sad to see that this family business that's been operating for 35 years has been closed.
Thanks. The next hand I see is Cameron. Cameron, go ahead.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yep, go ahead.
Hey guys, I was a resident of the East Village for almost a decade, right around the corner. I continue to own several businesses in this community board. I just want to reiterate what a lot of folks have said here, which is that Cloister's Cafe is absolutely a neighborhood staple. It's one of the most unique and well-loved establishments in this neighborhood. And further, the Drabenko family is extremely well respected. This is a multi-generational family business. They've been operating successfully for many years. It is true that there was some turbulence surrounding constant changes by the government early in COVID. But prior to that, and now that we're sort of seeing the other side of COVID, I think we're getting back to more normalized operations. There were no issues with this place. It's a gem of the neighborhood. And the other thing is, speaking personally about the family that runs the place, if there are stipulations, if there are necessary rules, my position is that I know they will follow through on any of those obligations. So I think it's a wonderful place, and I think it would be a shame to let a situation that happened during a very confusing regulatory time and such an important part of our neighborhood.
Thanks. The next hand I see is Daniel.
Michelle, thank you very much. I am in strong support of Cloister's getting their approval. I've gotten to know their place quite well. I've been a longtime resident of the East Village for a little over a decade. Also come from a family who owns a handful of restaurants, and they are the epitome of great operators, in my opinion. They're a place that I feel comfortable sending my girlfriend to, to feel safe. And my family also absolutely loves that place. If you're giving out liquor licenses, these are the types of people that should be getting it. Thank you.
Thanks. The next hand I see is Juliana.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yep, go ahead.
Hi, I used to live on the Lower East Side about 8 years ago, and I frequently attended the Cloister Cafe. I actually moved away, and I now live on the Upper West Side, and I actually tried to go back with my 2-year-old for brunch because I was in the neighborhood, and I saw that the restaurant was closed, and it was super heartbreaking. It's a beautiful space that obviously I'd feel comfortable bringing my 2-year-old to visit. As everyone has said, it's a family-run business, and it's always been such a warm, welcoming, friendly environment. The garden is just gorgeous. And I've had so many nice dinners and nightcaps with friends. It's really sad to hear everything that's going on. And I really am in support of them getting their license back. Thank you.
Thanks. Nancy, you already had a chance to speak, so unless you have something else to add to what you already said, or is it someone else speaking through the Zoom? Michelle Lee?
It's another neighbor.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry about that.
Hi, my name is Michelle. I will actually say my bedroom is actually above the tented area. And I am a 8-year resident of the East Village. I am a former city employee and urban planner. And while I understand that the rules that have got on, the orders that the mayor released, the state, everything else during the times of COVID, fine. But living above the tent, trying to sleep at night, trying to do your job for the city is rather difficult when you're living essentially in a Miami nightclub. And, it was calls to the business, 311 complaints, and none of that was, I guess, fruitful. And, we had neighbors moving out of our building. It was, quite an eventful time. And this is the thing, it happened prior to COVID, during COVID. So I wouldn't just say that it was, a technicality or that there was some sort of concern or that, there's a misunderstanding by residents. I will say I've been to Cloister Cafe myself. The garden is absolutely beautiful. However, trying to sleep in the middle of the night is not a good thing. So you're not going to sleep if you live above Cloister Cafe. And my bedroom happens to face the tent. And trying to tell me that it doesn't go on is absolutely appalling. So I would say I'm opposed to the liquor license and or adding some stipulations. They should not be open until 4 a.m. because they will go to 4 a.m. or beyond. So I would say if it could be cut off by 9 p.m., possibly I'm in support, but who do we call? Because no one is helping us. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. The next hand I see is Ola.
Hi, hello. Can everyone hear me? Okay, sorry. I thank you for your time and everybody else being here to hear everyone's side. I think that's key. What I'm hearing is one word that rings true to me, which is family, and that concept is key. Myself and my family actually moved to East Village in 1994 when I was 7. I can tell you from everything from 7A to being open to Odessa closing and everything in between. You know, we were captivated by the family, by the Drevenko family themselves. They've been, one of our fondest memory was just myself going there as a child to today. And, you know, watching the cake carousel from, you know, Nicholas pointing out what dessert we should have or a place we should stay. And that has been true to everything that is East Village and everything that's ever changing in East Village. New York City is not what it used to be. It is not what we want it to be, but unfortunately we have to celebrate the ups and downs. And it has really taken, you know, a hit to all of us, especially me, since I've been here. I could not bring my child there when, you know, he was born. I couldn't even reminisce on the communion that I had, a celebration that was so special to our family. The outdoor space was what kept everything afloat. It was clean, it was well kept, it was a celebration, and it was a nice place to escape, which is tough in the city. It is a family business and it's kept true to that roots, and that's what hospitality is. And I'm sorry, but during COVID, all of hospitality has gone out the window. It's been forgotten what it is from day one to what it is today. 7A used to be really bad in East Village. Niagara Falls, you know, even still on the corner, has the longest lines. It has congestions. 13 Step, high on, there's people sleeping on the corner due to Starbucks closing. Everyone complains in East Village, and let alone in New York City. It is not in the park. And we're focusing on one incident that hit this family that's been standing the test of time. Focusing on the negative perspective will not get us past to the next chapter.
Okay. Can you wrap it up, please?
Sure. I just want everyone to have a perspective for it. And this place is stood the test of time. And I strongly urge you to consider before anyone else's New York City.
Okay, please, I'm cutting you off because we have 5 more people at least to speak. The next hand I see is Patrick. Patrick, go ahead. Patrick, we can't hear you if you're trying to speak. Okay, I'm gonna move on. Daniel, I see your. Go ahead, Daniel.
Good evening altogether. I just want to bring a different perspective of view in here. I was an international student at St. John's in accounting. So in 2017, I studied and did my master's there. During being in very dense buildings, I would go out sometimes and study at that beautiful garden, just get some relaxed downtime. And also with a couple of my, you know, other students or professors even, we would go and have a drink even sometimes later at night, but very quiet in a nice ambience. And I'm fully supporting to have the garden back open as it was at some point, because that area is basically lived by students. I know there's families obviously as well, but there's more campuses coming, NYU's at St. John's. So for me, it was also like a digesting point and obviously a very good place to learn and study. Thank you for hearing me out.
Thank you. The next hand I see is Larissa.
Hi there. I have been a New York City resident for 34 years. I have family and I live on East 6th Street. You know, I've been to Cloister's Cafe numerous times. This establishment is truly unique in the sense that it has this outdoor garden. I think if you take the outdoor garden away from this establishment, it loses everything that this business is. I don't see, you know, any issues with the noise, in my opinion. And again, that garden is what makes Cloisters what it is. So I strongly encourage you to grant their application.
Thanks. Diana, go ahead.
Thank you. So I actually live above Cloister Cafe for 15 years. And yes, 9th Street is extremely loud, but it's not Cloister Cafe who is the issue. There's many bars around it. There's a bar right next to it. So I feel like even if you take away Cloister Cafe, you will not get rid of the noise. So I strongly support you giving the license, because even when I look down the window at 2 a.m, I see just a few people sitting at the tables and having drinks. It's not a club, it's not a party, there's no loud music. It's just a nice establishment.
Thanks. Natalia?
Hi, yes. I'm a third generation East Village landlord and resident. My family has held 3 separate liquor licenses on 7th Street since the 80s, and we fully support our fellow neighbors at Cloisters. The neighborhood has obviously, changed so much since the pandemic, with very few institutions being able to survive, and it's sad. I would just hate to see another restaurant succumb because of a misunderstanding during a very weird and confusing time at the heels of a pandemic. The owners are hardworking, an immigrant family. They've had decades and decades of proving themselves, and I respect that so much. They've been operating successfully for so long, and it's these longstanding small family businesses that are the heart of the East Village community. I strongly support them.
Thank you. The next one I see is Ilyas.
Yeah, hi. Yeah, I've lived in the East Village for 10 years. I used to own a business around the corner from Cloister Cafe, and I used to live on St. Mark's. Every experience I've had with Cloister has always been positive. I think they have strong ties to the community. Obviously, they're immigrant business owners. I wasn't and still am an immigrant business owner. I think in this time with so many changes in the city, we should be doing everything we can to keep these businesses alive. We all know what's been happening in New York, and what is happening, what's been happening, what's going to happen. So I think anything we can do to keep these businesses open, we should do. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, those are all the hands that I see for now. Committee, handing it over to you all. David, go ahead.
Yeah, of course, like everyone, I also new to Cloisters, back from probably their first day. And I'd love to see them back too. The SLA does not cancel licenses lightly. So there was, I don't think that was just an accident. I think that we're starting over here. It's a new license. We would never allow 4 a.m. outdoor use on anything now. So committee, I think that's too late. We need to put some restrictions around that. It's been 35 years since we had an opportunity to do that.
Wait.
I want time restrictions on the outdoor use. I don't want it at 4 a.m. around the clock. It's outdoors.
Okay, David, do you have a proposal?
Well, I don't know what we typically do. I mean, I'm afraid that on many things we say 10 a.m. and 10 p.m. and that, that may not fly. I don't know if someone else would propose it. I'm just putting it out there that I want us to have, time restrictions that pull it well earlier than 4 a.m. And I don't know how early.
Michelle,
Jamie, go ahead.
So you want me to suggest?
Let's Jamie, I think, wanted to speak. So let's Jamie, then Herman.
Okay.
Thank you.
Look, I'm definitely speaking with background as a restaurant bar owner. So that, that's gonna color my opinion here. These guys have been in business, as a family since the 80s in this neighborhood. A global pandemic comes along where they made some really dumb and perhaps dangerous decisions. And as a result, they are going to have their entire operation reset. It feels wrong to me. I don't have a personal vested interest in Cloister Cafe. Been a couple times. I think it's cute. I think that's great. I just think that how people behaved in all walks of life during the pandemic is not how we should judge people for the most part. Yeah, they made bad mistakes. I also know that I have also had friends in the bar and restaurant industry who have complained about unfair practices by the SLA. I'm not saying that's what happened here. I'm just saying that no government body is infallible. And 35 years is a long stretch, and I would like to see it remain. That's my personal take.
Okay, Herman, go ahead.
Yes, following David stuff and listen to the people talking about 4 o'clock in the morning. It's not that I, depends on the discussion here. I'm not saying you're approving anything, but I think putting a rope around this stuff, I think they should operate, and if it's approved, to operate at 12 midnight from Sunday to Thursday, and Friday, Saturday, 2 p.m. max, with the backyard closing at 10 o'clock.
So you're saying indoors 12 a.m. and 2 a.m. and backyard 10 p.m. all nights?
Yes.
I've said this before, when it comes to stipulations that we put here, like I can never vote for something that I know will absolutely be the death knell for a business. And if you're asking a business which is 3/4 outdoors to close at 10 p.m., I would vote against it.
Are you telling me that the basis of your decision on the SLA stuff is more? I know each of us I'm in a business myself, but I have to balance the fact between my support for business and the fact that communities needs to be considered as to the viability and how business react to their community. So
I know I haven't been.
I'm a business person, but I wouldn't make that statement that if a business is not doing the proper thing to the community, that I will overlook it. Bad behavior.
I know that I haven't been on the board nearly as long as you, Herman, so I've seen had fewer experiences. But even as somebody who sat in meetings as an applicant and just to watch in general, I've not seen this many members of the community come out in support. So if it comes to like speaking on behalf of the community, I think the community is speaking on behalf of themselves at this point.
It's an organized effort. Come on, my nose works.
I don't have that many.
Beside the point. I mean, I'm also not against this business in any way. But I will say, I mean, what rubbed me the wrong way was hearing things like we're being persecuted, making an example. Oh, come on. I mean, that is not the reality of how these things work. I don't know the nature of all the details that went on there. The fact is, it's a reset. It is. And it's very tiny on the inside. I don't know. I mean, I think most of us have been there. There's basically no indoor seating. That's where you go if it starts to rain. I had no idea that there was a new space. I'm calling it new because as I move further away, my frequency of going there has gone way down. I haven't been there in many years. It is an outdoor space. Whatever indoor seating is there is incidental. So the hours that you were mentioning, Herman, sound maybe they could run a business out, in their space, which is the outdoors. Given those hours, I don't know what Jamie thinks about that.
I have a feeling, David, that I'm gonna say I have a feeling that so here's my problem is that we have a real standard for outdoor spaces in CB3 now, which is 10 p.m. And I understand that this was a business that was operating for 30 years or whatever, same age as I am, 34 years. But I'm sort of reluctant to make an exception. I think that if we did 10 p.m., they would not sign the stipulations, I have to imagine. Is that correct? Yeah, so it would be effectively a denial. I'm just putting that out there as what I'm conflicted about right now, because I understand that it's a longstanding business, but there's no way we would let anyone else have a backyard until 4 a.m., which is what they're asking for. So that's what I'm sort of conflicted about. Susan, I see your hands up.
Yeah, and it's not about this place in particular. We have created a standard that everybody pretty much understands. Even the temporary licenses that the SLA is giving now is influenced because of our standard. And, you know, I think the board has to think about treating people equally and letting people know what to expect. And as far as if they won't sign the stipulations, that's fine. And you go up to the SLA and say, this is what we thought was reasonable. They didn't think it was reasonable. And, you know, that kind of thing happens all the time.
Susan, were there complaints prior to COVID about the noise that you worked with?
I think it was Nancy reminded me that there were. And to be honest, it wasn't one of those places like the cabin where I was overwhelmed with complaints. And so I focus more on the ones that have a lot of different complaints. So yes, there were complaints. There were not complaints from a lot of different people. And I can't tell you off the top of my head when they started, but I don't think they were frequent, which doesn't have anything to say about how bad it was or how bad it wasn't. I don't think there were frequent complaints to me. I will say, as far as the SLA taking away a license, that is so rare. I could less than 5 times, I'd say, in our communities in 15 years I've been here. It doesn't happen. I'm not discussing this place. I'm just talking about the SLA. So
okay,
it's
thanks.
just,
David.
I'm speaking for Stan. When you call me, so I'm speaking for standard.
Okay, David, go ahead.
Yeah, there are other time. I mean, okay. I said it was starting over, but you know, this place had been there a very long time. It predated any sort of problems that the neighborhood had with liquor licenses at all. I mean, when they started, there were, I don't know, were there 9 licenses to the east?
Right, that's true.
Yeah, so I'm also thinking about things like the New York Poets Cafe. They are totally not, you know, they would never get a license anymore. And I would totally advocate for letting them continue what they've always done, just as another business. I just feel that we need to pull it back from 4 a.m. We have an opportunity to do that. I think that is too late. I think applying a 10 p.m. I just don't want to do that in this case. Yes, I'm being a little wishy-washy here, but that's how I feel about it. I also think about things like, you know, the noise complaints about the bridge, you know, the Williamsburg Bridge, the trains on the bridge. It has nothing to do with this committee, but I'm on another committee. Hello, that's only been there for over 100 years.
But no one complains about that.
Oh, I hear complaints about that all the time. I'm like, yeah, this is not a priority for us.
Okay, okay, off topic. But so David, what are you asking about that?
I think midnight and 2 a.m., you know, midnight weeknights and 2 a.m. on however the weekend is defined, that could make sense. 4 a.m. does not make sense, and I think 10 p.m. does not make sense.
So I'm going to say, if you do 2 a.m., anything like 12 and 2 a.m. outdoors, you will never be able to, you know, every other lawyer is going to go up there and say they do it for some people and not for others. It's the impact on the whole community that counts, not how long they've been there, to be honest. And this is not about them personally or about anything they've done or not done. I'm taking this totally out of the personal level. You will never again be able to effectively limit somebody for reasons of outdoor noise and community, because the community is the same, whether how long they've been there or not.
Okay, thanks, Susan. Walter, go ahead, but brief, please. You're muted.
Everybody's talking about treating other businesses equally. And to answer David's question, why they took away the liquor license was because during the emergency suspension hearing, the chairman said, these guys will never get their license back before we even had a fair hearing or due process. We challenged them in court and we're still challenging them in court. We're in appellate division now, and that's why this is happening. To treat everybody equally, Cloister Cafe wasn't treated equally by the SLA. All other operators got fines. They got licenses suspended or suspended for a short time period. People paid the fines, they went back in and they continued operating. Now, we weren't offered any fines. So we are not getting treated equally by the SLA. And it's clear. The other gentleman that was here, I believe he was the Chinese or Asian restaurant. He said, oh, Michelle, you asked him, why didn't you reveal you had a problem with the SLA? Oh, he forgot. And what happened was he got to pay a fine, even though it was COVID violation, he got to pay a fine. Nobody offered us during the COVID violation to pay a fine and keep our liquor license. So it was predetermined by the SLA chairman that we're not going to get the liquor license back after they did the initial emergency suspension. So that's
Okay,
what I would like
thanks.
to say.
Okay. Okay, committee, it's already 9:30. I'd like to take a straw poll on the outdoor closing hours. Because I feel like we've beat this horse to death. I think we have two proposals on the floor. Sorry, we've hered everything.
I want to say 2 words.
He hasn't spoken.
I didn't speak.
You have 1 minute.
Okay. I'm at the location over 35 years. I had 3 to 4 different liquor licenses. I had never no problem with the community board, with the fire department, building department, all the departments that are out there. There was no violation, no nothing. The people that did it from SLA, they wrote anything they wanted, okay? I support the community. I support the 9th precinct. For Christmas, I give to the kids for the presents, the street theater, the 10th Street and First Avenue to the New York Theater. I give it to churches. I'm in a community for 35 years before you were born, okay? This is my life, okay? This is my life. And you have 2 people complaining against me from the neighborhood, and you think this is okay.
45.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I probably beat most of you all in the time in this neighborhood. So in any case, we could talk about also equality, but equality is not the only judgment. It's if a business cannot live amicably and respect the people that lives in the neighborhood, even if it's one person that is being disturbed at 4 o'clock in the morning, it's really important to me. Okay.
Okay, so I want to do a straw poll on the closing hours for outdoors. It seems like there's been 2 proposals. One is midnight and 2 a.m., right, David? That's what you had originally said. And then the other one, Herman, you had said is 10 p.m. all nights, right? Herman?
No, I brought up after David says, so somehow I concur with David. From Sunday to Thursday, it's midnight, and Friday and Saturday, 2 p.m. and 10 p.m. outside.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Sorry, outdoors 10 p.m.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm only talking about outdoor right now.
Yeah, I'm just sticking to what we, we have been doing for a couple of years.
Okay, so I'm gonna start with Sunday through Thursday, closing at midnight, Friday to Saturday, 2 a.m. David, are you still in favor of that?
Come back to me.
Okay, Herman, I know you're a no. Jamie? You're muted.
If the applicants are cool with it, I would accept it. I don't think that it. And can I abstain on this one?
Sure. Paul, did we lose Paul? We lost Paul. David?
I don't know. I hear what Susan's saying, but yeah, I don't know what. I hear Susan's warning, definitely.
I have a question.
Feel that we're supposed to evaluate
Sorry,
each
go ahead.
one separately. Go ahead.
Yes, except for this is like the one, I mean, but that's not fully true because there are stipulations, as Susan said, that over the years, based on complaints that come from community members, what mitigates those complaints. That's why we have all those standard stipulations. It's not that we we never let anyone do boozy brunch, you know, like that kind of stuff. Like there's just so there's not a lot of malleability in most of them, I'd say. And outdoor dining is one of them. And I mean, David, you're the one who stood up during that meeting over last summer saying that like outdoor dining is turning the East Village into a crazy place. So I
know. Listen, I have no doubt that that it is possible that our previous governor put in the fix. That is a possibility that they are going to be fighting in court. I assume that something of that nature is what they're fighting in court. I'm perfectly fine with saying 10 p.m. on this new license, which is new, and wish them luck in their court case to get back their old license.
That's sort of my gut, frankly. Like if the SLA, as Susan said, the SLA almost never takes away licenses. I understand that it was a crazy time with COVID and that a lot of licenses were taken away, and that Susan seems to say that this wasn't like truly it wasn't like a problem location like she described the cabin being, but I feel a little bit like it's not that that we have a standard stipulation for outdoor. They're not going to sign that. It sounds like you know, we could pass it with 10 p.m. and have them not sign it and say, you know, they didn't sign because of the stipulations, and then let them fight at the SLA. I mean, is that what you're saying, kind of, David?
That is what I'm saying, but I'm not even talking about on this new application. That is how that will.
You mean the old one?
Sure. I mean, on their old one, if they're going to court to try to preserve that old license, you know, the courts are very open to this idea that the SLA must be fair and open. And, you know, from what I believe it was their lawyer described, you know, their cases that they were not being such. And, you know, and if that's true, I have no doubt that the courts will rule in their favor, right? If it's true that the SLA was being arbitrary or came into it with a preconceived notion. I mean, my goodness, if the head of the SLA came out and said in open, you know, in an open meeting, if those were his launching words, they have a very strong case. So let them fight.
It's on YouTube.
Let them fight that very strong case, and let's put forward being consistent with our 10 p.m. rule, which is what we would do with any. If this were a new license, we would absolutely do that.
Okay, that's kind of my gut too. And Herman, I know you agree with that, right? 10 p.m. outside, Herman? No.
No.
Sure.
Okay.
That's it. I mean, you know, everybody takes their position, but the SLA will do what it do. But we have a situation where our decision is that to balance what people do as a business and the liquor license or entertainment stuff, and what the community deserves, and listening to their complaint. So, you know, that's I don't have no dilemma about anything other than making it reasonable for the community and hope that the businesses would work with the community and the community board.
Okay, Susan, your hand's up. Susan?
I'm sorry, forgot I was muted. I would actually like to make a remark after you finish voting.
Sure. Okay. Okay, I think we've kind of come to an agreement about the outdoors because 3 of 4 of us are saying 10 p.m. Actually, David, do we not have a quorum right now?
How many committee members are there?
8.
We need 5 for quorum.
I know, but we vote regardless of whether there's quorum, we just.
No, I
know-
understand. I'm just
Yeah.
trying to figure it out.
We're missing
Paul's
2 people, right?
Oh, here, Paul's coming. Paul's joining.
Paul's over
Okay,
there.
so I think we've agreed on 10 p.m. outdoors, right? Based on the number of votes, the straw poll I did. We did not come to an interior time. I'm actually like fine with like 2 and 4 indoors. David?
Sure. I think it's 12 seats.
Yeah. So 2 a.m. Sunday to Thursday and 4 o'clock a.m. Friday and Saturday.
Guys, we really are voting to do 10 p.m. or to give somebody 6 hours with 12 seats, just making sure we're all clear of that.
Unfortunately, yes.
Okay. Jamie, my reasoning is if they lost their license for cause, it is a new license, and we will be running into trouble with other applicants, as Susan had described. I totally get that. If we don't use our standard as a standard in this one situation, then we're going to lose that standard for the rest of everything. It's
I heard Susan's, and again, like, I don't know why I'm fighting so hard for these guys. I don't even know them. I don't think that, this is a very unique space, at least in our community, in our neighborhood. So I don't think that if we use, what's the word I'm looking for? Intelligent, rational thinking in this instance. I'm not saying we're not, but I don't think that by changing our rules this one time, it screws us for all time. That's just my personal opinion. Anyway, let's get to this.
Okay, so the hours we're thinking about right now, 2 a.m. Sunday to Thursday and 4 a.m. Friday and Saturday. And then 10 p.m. outdoors all day, 10 o'clock p.m. outdoor spaces all days, no speakers. Okay,
Well, that's not my hours, and I won't vote for that.
Okay.
Extended hours. So if everybody votes, it's okay, but that's not my vote. 4
Okay.
o'clock.
Jamie, I assume that you're okay with those hours, 2 a.m. Sunday to Thursday and 4 a.m. Friday to Saturday.
Or indoor
Outdoor,
only? Or
indoors, excuse me, indoors, yeah.
Sure, but I'm going to vote no on it because we're doing 10 p.m. anyway.
Okay, okay.
You explain the opening no later than 11 a.m.
David, go ahead.
Well, that's going to be something the SLA could ding you on if you keep it there. You would be allowed to open before 11 a.m., but do you really want to commit to always opening before 11 a.m.?
I don't think they're signing these steps, but
okay.
Yeah. Yes.
Granted. So can we let's put 2 p.m. in there.
Okay.
If they did try to make a business of this.
Okay. So we see the SIPs that we're voting on. Opening no later than 2 p.m., closing by 2 a.m. Sunday to Thursday, and 4 a.m. Friday and Saturday, 10 p.m. outdoors, all spaces, no speakers. I guess we never even talked about the live music,
Previous
actually.
applicant suggested 4 p.m. and that floated, so let's put that back up there at the top one. Opening no later than 4 p.m. because we had someone else do that earlier.
Sure.
Thank you.
No live music, no DJs or promote events. Ambient recorded background music only. Happy hours till 7. No wait lines. Okay. Look good, everyone. It's the committee, I mean, based on what we've discussed, look good.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna move this to a vote. Okay, David,
Yes.
Herman,
No.
Jamie,
No.
Paul,
Yes.
Michelle, yes. Okay, so this motion carries. We'll send the stipulations to you tomorrow. Please let us know expediently if you plan to not sign. And when I mean expediently, I mean by Friday. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for spending all this time here with us. We appreciate everyone from the community coming out. Thank you, the committee members. I'm going to count that vote as the closing vote. And thank you, Paul, for calling in from Greece, as always. Go to sleep.
Michelle,
Hi, everyone. Oh,
just-
sorry. Go ahead, Susan. Yeah,
This is,
but Paul, you go to
this is
sleep.
actually just for the member. I mean, clearly anyone can listen, but I'm directing this to the members. During COVID, we had, mostly because of our mayor, but we had terrible time getting any enforcement, and CBs 1, 2, and 3 met with the SLA chair and our state officials, and Michelle and I were both there. And I'm going to tell you, there is no way that they lightly took anyone's license, and that's just it's skewed the other way, and I understand why it's skewed the other way. But and you can say people made mistakes. They certainly did, but you can own up to the mistakes. The SLA, there was no fix in there, and they're very careful because they are aware they're constantly being sued if it goes to the Supreme Court and then the appellate court.
Please listen to the tape on YouTube
I'm not,
of the
excuse me, as
emergency.
I mentioned, this, I'm only addressing this to the members. I am talking about our experience. And I just wanted to say, they aren't always right. They do make mistakes, but there is no fixer. It just didn't happen. So I just wanted to say
it's public knowledge. It's on YouTube.
It also is irrelevant.
Okay, I think we've had enough for tonight. Thank you, Susan. Thank you, everyone, for being here. We will see you at the full board meeting on Tuesday.